Chapter 793. In the main hall, Fong Ping roughly confirmed the counterattack with the few paragons. Very quickly, Fong Ping suddenly said, "Minister, if the Catacombs' true king really makes a move this time, then let's do it." Zhang Tao said calmly, "Since we've made such preparations, we're not afraid of the enemy making a move." As Zhang Tao spoke, he smiled faintly and said, "It's a grudge of life and death. Don't worry, it doesn't have much to do with MCMAU. It's just that we can't stand it anymore. You don't have to worry about it. If a war really breaks out, you should prepare to evacuate." Then, Zhang Tao looked at Nan Yunyue and asked, "At the final moment, you have just broken through to the absolute peak. If you leave the catacombs and take everyone to escape from Earth, then as long as one can survive, days like this are incomparably torturous. Perhaps the result is also a release for us." Zhang Tao laughed heartily once more. He looked at Fong Ping and said, "All right, this has nothing to do with you. It was just a coincidence. I've been pissed off by those guys for a long time. This time, I won't rest until I turn the world upside down." Fong Ping was conflicted. After a while, he said, "But no buts." Zhang Tao suddenly shouted, "A rank 8 powerhouse is so indecisive. We will do as we should. We are also desperation realm martial artists. How could we not know the consequences? We will make our own decisions." Fong Ping sighed. He wanted to say something, but he had nothing to say. After a while, Fong Ping suddenly asked, "Minister, can the imperishable substance help desperate realms recover their combat strength quickly?" Zhang Tao's expression didn't change. Li Jun and Nan Yunyue's expressions also didn't change. But in their hearts, they sighed with emotion. How stupid. "Kid, you're really too inexperienced." He was fooled silly just like that. Was he moved now? Was he prepared to bleed? Just as the two of them were thinking about this, Zhang Tao smiled and said, "There's no need. We are desperate realm cultivators, after all. We still have the imperishable substance. Moreover, when the time came and the battle would be intense, it might not be of use. Once he was heavily injured, he would die soon. He might not be able to make it in time. Boy, there is no need to worry about us. After all, there is a limit to the amount of imperishable matter we have. If we really die in battle, then you can either retreat with Nanyan Yunyue or find a place to hide and ascend to the absolute peak as soon as possible. If there was hope, then counterattack. If there's no hope, then find a place to live. Only by living will there be hope." Zhang Tao did not want it. As soon as he said that, Li Jun and the other man were surprised at first. Then they began to sympathize with Fong Ping. "You don't have to send me off. Now that you've given me the item, I'll have to thank Zhang Tao. That guy's playing hard to get." When Fong Ping heard that, a gigantic golden mass of imperishable substance had already appeared in his hand, Zhang Tao's eyes were almost dazzled. He wanted to swallow his saliva. What was going on with this kid? How many are there? 10,000 yuan? That's not all. At least 30,000 yuan of imperishable substance. This was too much. While Zhang Tao was deep in thought, Fong Ping suddenly said, "So the absolute peak is no longer needed? Forget it then. Minister, you must be careful. These imperishable substances just happen to be useful in MCMAU's battle. Just give them to the people of MCMAU when you return." Fong Ping looked regretful. "Since it's useless to Paragon, then I won't send you off." "I'm leaving first." Zhang Tao's face stiffened. "Did you really think so? Or did you do it on purpose? If you don't want to give it to me, then don't take it out." Fong Ping did not give him a chance to speak. He said immediately, "Then I'll go see the Vice-Chancellor." "Minister, I'll leave first." After saying that, Fong Ping and Li Jun bade farewell to each other and left quickly. After he left, the hall fell silent for a moment. Then Li Jun sneered and said, "Idiot, that's what you get for acting up." Nan Yunyue also had a look of disdain on her face. "This is going to be fun, right? I won't send you off." "You don't want it." Zhang Tao glanced at the two of them and said lightly, "What do you know? I'm just thinking about a problem. Do you really think I care about that little bit of imperishable substance? Am I fighting for the imperishable substance?" "Ah!" The two of them sneered again. Imperishable substance, or destructive force. This was a kind of power that would be used even in desperate situations. Origin Tao was not a combat energy. It was used for amplification. The weakest absolute peak had a basic vitality of 200,000 calories, amplified by one-fold. The combat strength would be as high as 400,000 calories. Then, it would be twice as powerful as the absolute peak, which would be 800,000 calories. This was the weakest absolute peak. However, Origin Tao amplified vitality force. Destructive force, on the other hand, was not affected by Origin Tao. The destructive force of a desperate powerhouse was actually far less powerful than Fong Ping imagined. There was no such thing as the power of 1,000 origin destruction. 1 yuan of destructive force was equivalent to 5,000 calories vitality strength. 1,000 destructive force was equivalent to 5,000 calories vitality strength. In reality, a weak absolute peak's destructive force was about 200 yuan, exploding with 1,000,000 cal vitality strength. In other words, when a desperate peak used vitality force to fight, the weakest could reach the level of a normal rank 9 vitality strength of 800,000 calories. With destructive force, without the Origin Tao amplification, they could also have 1,000,000 cal vitality strength. This was an absolute peak. Zhang Tao and the others were slightly stronger, but the upper limit of their destructive force was far from the level of 1,000 yuan. Fong Ping took out a lump of imperishable substance that was about 30,000 yuan. Although the effect would be greatly reduced if used on an absolute peak, it was enough for them to use for a long time. They could recover quickly even if they were injured dozens of times. Yes, it's just that little bit of imperishable substance. You won't care. Nan Yunyue sneered, then frowned slightly. What's the situation? The imperishable substance is infinite, the kind that can't be used up. Last time in the Forbidden Catacombs, he used a lot of imperishable substance. Previously in the Sky Gate battle, he did the same. It seems that for MCMU's counterattack this time, he prepared a lot of imperishable substance. But this thing doesn't come out of thin air. Zhang Tao, did you discover anything? Zhang Tao rubbed his chin, murmuring, "This is what I'm thinking about. Imperishable substance is produced by martial artist cultivation. It won't appear out of thin air. Even if he's a resurrected martial artist, there's a limit to it. Of course, we can't rule out the possibility that he was really strong in his past life, storing a lot of imperishable substance and leaving it behind. Also, you also know about the domain lands. The so-called lake of eternal extinction in the domain lands is actually not much of a lake. If you really want to rob the lake of eternal extinction of a domain land, I'm afraid that it would only be about 200,000 yuan of imperishable substance, perhaps a little more. But I suspect that those lakes were provided by those rank 8 and above martial artists who gathered the entire sect strength. In addition, there was no war in the sect back then, so they stored a lot of it. Also, these years, there might be people cultivating in the eternal lakes and being born. That's why they created so much imperishable substance. As for Fong Ping, his imperishable substance, if it's not from the boundaries, it's either stored in his past life, or what? Both of them were a little confused. Fong Ping really took out too much, and it was not just a little. Not to mention the 30,000 yuan just now. Zhang Tao knew more than both Nan Yunyue and Li Changsheng. Zhang Weiyu, Wu Chuan, Li Changsheng, these people all got a lot of imperishable substance. And MCMU's 3 new rank 9s, they all got a lot of imperishable substance from Fong Ping. The last battle of Forbidden City, the Battle of Sky Gate. All in all, the imperishable substance that Fong Ping took out from the beginning to the end was probably more than 100,000 yuan. The lake of eternal extinction of a domain was roughly like this. Could it be that this kid had really robbed a domain's lake of eternity? Hearing both of their questions, Zhang Tao smiled faintly and said, "Or he has a way to convert some things into imperishable substance. Imperishable substance is actually a special product formed by the intersection of mentality, vitality, and golden body strength. Actually, the source is still vitality and mentality. If he can quickly convert his vitality and mentality, he can also produce a lot of imperishable substance. How is that possible?" Li Jun frowned and said, Even we are unable to do that. We? It's hard to say for him. Zhang Tao smiled. Li Zhen's brows knit together once more as he said, unless the monarch realm is almost the same. We don't know exactly how strong monarch realm experts are, but they might possess some special abilities and methods. Don't tell me you're saying that Fong Ping is actually a reincarnated emperor? However, there had only been a limited number of monarch realm experts since the ancient times. We don't know much about the demon emperors in the catacombs here in the human world. Some of the history has been lost, but even if the humans produced monarch realm powerhouses, 3 to 5 of them would be the most they could produce. Could Fong Ping be the reincarnation of these people? Emperor, could it be that even the ancient experts are going to get involved? Li Zhen solemnly said, in the new martial era, the wind and clouds gather. Some of the people who had already fallen also wanted to join in. If we were like this, what about the catacombs? Where was the demon emperor? Where was the demon emperor? Where were the human emperors in ancient times? The 2 kings had recovered, but what about the others? Was there anyone who wanted to revive after the battle at the king's battlefield? Where are the people from the domain? As Li Zhen spoke, he said angrily, what are these people plotting? What happened back then? Leaving the scourge to the later generations. Was it intentional or unintentional? Now that they have revived, why don't they come out? We can't see their figures, but let us guess. Are these people really of the same mind as us? Maybe they don't care about the lives of humans at all. They only want what they think is important to them, including those living people who might exist in the domain. Why don't they show up? Are they really worried that we will kill them and take away their Tao? Li Zhen suddenly felt a little angry, a little annoyed. He gritted his teeth and said, a group of powerhouses who think they can control all living beings. Dream on. The martial artists of the new martial era will never be pawns, nor will they be sacrifices. As some of the situation surfaced, Li Zhen also felt that something was wrong. The 2 kings had revived. The old ghosts of the domain had revived. The people led by the demon emperor 1,000 years ago had revived. It was possible that the people from the king's battlefield were reviving, or perhaps they had already revived. Powerhouses after powerhouse, some appeared, some hid. No one told them anything. It was unknown whether it was because they couldn't speak or because they didn't care about the overall situation, so there was no need to tell them. Nan Yunyue coldly smiled. They will regret this. In the end, this era is not their era. People who perished thousands of years apart had actually revived in the same era. If they said that this was not planned, who would believe them? It just so happens that the 2 worlds will be connected in these next few years. Perhaps they were waiting for this opportunity. 108 channels have opened. Is it because the channels exist, or is it because the 2 worlds have completely fused together? Who can say for sure? These channels, are they really just channels? Perhaps there are some primers that will allow the 2 worlds to completely fuse together. Zhang Tao lightly said, perhaps. 2 worlds fusing together. What will happen when the 2 worlds fuse together? Will the myriad Daos of the heavens become longer? Or is it something else? Could the strength of Earth not be able to withstand something? Perhaps when the 2 worlds fuse together, the Tao paths will be more perfect and we can walk further. Achieve a boundary higher than the sovereign realm? As Zhang Tao said this, he suddenly laughed. Both of you, why are you talking about this out of nowhere? Let's talk about Fong Ping. This kid Fong Ping still has so much imperishable substance in his hands. We can't let him waste it. Find a chance. Both of them looked at him scornfully. Li Zhen quickly said, stop talking nonsense. This time you got it, share it with us. Otherwise, we'll expose you. Up to you. Zhang Tao's expression was indifferent. Expose? For MCMEU, I broke out in a pinnacle battle and fought to the death. That was real, not fake. If you expose me, what can you say about me? I can't be bothered with you. You even threatened me. What a joke. As for guessing Fong Ping's identity, they stopped guessing. Some things would eventually come to light. Second Wang led the remnants and fled to the wilderness. At this moment, some information recorded in some books in the catacombs surfaced in Zhang Tao's mind. Second Wang led only the remnants. Who crippled them? Godland sank? Was the sunken Godland not the Godland of today? The wilderness? Or could it be that the billions of square kilometers of catacombs was actually just a wilderness area? What happened back then? What was the origin of Second Wang? What was that battle during the Demon Emperor calendar? Did the people from the bounded zones appear before Second Wang, or after? One by one, doubts flashed in Zhang Tao's mind. Everyone ignored the martial artists of the neo-martial arts era. Even if Star Town was the same, during the neo-martial arts era, Sino Nation gave birth to 3 paragons. Li Jun even came from Star Town. Strictly speaking, since the neo-martial arts era until now, Sino Nation had only given birth to 2 paragons. 2 perilous realms who achieved paragons not too long ago, plus less than 100 rank 9s. Indeed, this kind of strength was indeed not worthy of attention. This kind of strength was not even as powerful as a bounded zone in the past. According to Fong Ping, Xuan de Grotto had 8 true god elders and 1 sect leader. One sect had 9 paragons. Perhaps the sect leader was even a paragon who had taken 2 paths. Sino Nation's 3 newly promoted paragons were currently single-path paragons. No matter how strong they were, perhaps in the eyes of those people, they were only comparable to a powerhouse who had taken 2 paths. But back then, how many bounded zones were there? How many paragons of 2 paths were there? What was this bit of strength in the neo-martial arts era? The martial artists of the neo-martial arts era have been ignored. Ignored. Even the catacombs are the same. They only care about Heavenly King, Subduing, and Devil Emperor. Zhang Tao sneered in his heart. Maybe in your eyes, the neo-martial arts era is a joke. Don't forget, now is the neo-martial arts era. Ignoring the martial artists and powerhouses born in this era, it was hard to say who would have the last laugh. Back then in the North Lake Catacombs, who was the one who gave me the monster plant? King Qian? Heavenly King, Subduing? Devil Emperor? Zhang Tao thought for a while. A hint of a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Was it really for me? What rank was I at that time? Why did they give this to me? Or could it be that back then, those people felt that I was very talented and would become the leader of the neo-martial arts era? If that's the case, then I really admire them. Maybe I was too dazzling when I was young. So, someone wanted to invest in me? At this moment, Zhang Tao thought of Fong Ping. Someone was investing in him too. Warlord was investing in him. That mysterious person from Xuan de Grotto was investing in him. Even he was investing in him. In the future, maybe more people would invest in him. What these people wanted to do, perhaps he would find out soon. It's a pity that you've calculated everything, but you've forgotten that we're the masters of this era. Everything that's old and rotten should be eliminated. Go where you want to go. Go where you want to be unknown. If you want to stir up trouble in the neo-martial arts era, you'll have to see if we agree. Zhang Tao looked into the distance, a smile on his face. In 3 years at most, some things would come to light. At that time, some of the people who had been hiding would come to the surface. Let's wait and see, Zhang Tao murmured. He turned his head to look at Fong Ping, who had already gone to look for Wu Quishan. This kid, would he be able to stand on the stage when the time came? Are you on those people's side or on the neo-martial arts era's side? It's time for the neo-martial arts era to end. At the same time, Fong Ping looked at Wu Quishan, who was still unconscious, and said with a smile, Vice-Chancellor, it's time for us to start the MCWU era. These leaders now are all old. All of them are not satisfied with their old age and are fighting with me. They even want to fight to the death. They're willing to sacrifice everything for our MCWU. It'll be weird if we believe them. When you're at the pinnacle, and I'm at the pinnacle, I'll pull old Wang and the rest along, and old man Li, and we'll start a new era. In the neo-martial arts era, the 3 ministers have already achieved pinnacle. They should be satisfied. After that, it'll be the era of us young people. The heavy responsibility of saving humanity will fall on our shoulders. Look, it's been almost 100 years. How much has their strength improved? There were 33 rank 9s in the previous ranking list. How embarrassing. How many pinnacles are there? Give me a long time, close to 100 years, and I'll be able to build a rank 9 army. I'm afraid there'll be more pinnacles than Star City. Vice-Chancellor, wake up soon. If you don't, I won't bring you along this time. Also, if you don't wake up soon, these people will keep staring at our MCW's good stuff. After all, I'm too young. If I fight with these old foxes, it's normal to lose. But if I win, they'll shamelessly use age and martial arts to suppress me. Old Manly doesn't care, so he's just a thug. After all, Instructor Gua and the other two are resurrected martial artists. They did not grow up in MCW all the time, so it's not good to ask for too much. The others are the same. Those who don't care, or their strength is too weak. This MCW still needs you and me to hold it together, Vice Chancellor. Fong Ping nagged for a while and smiled. Vice Chancellor, then I'll go back first. Wake up as soon as possible. MCW's counterattack will either be at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. Dean Huang is dead, and hundreds of instructors and students are dead. Don't you want revenge? Also, your wife, my instructor, was almost beaten to death. Just a little bit more. If I go a little later, I'll be dead. Look at you in this life. You couldn't even protect a single person you wanted to protect. You wanted to protect your daughter, but she died. You wanted to protect the old vice chancellor, but she died. Brothers, students, friends, almost all of them are dead. Now my wife almost died. Tell me, you're a rank 9, you're a snake king, you're not even as good as me. Fong Ping taunted him for a while and smiled. Anyway, I've explained the situation to you. If you don't wake up and something happens to the instructor, that's also your responsibility. Who asked you to not wake up? After saying that, Fong Ping turned around and left. Behind him, Wu Quishan's fingers trembled slightly. Fong Ping turned around and swept a glance at him. He chuckled. I know you can hear me, so I'm just saying it for you to hear. Anyway, I'm serious. It's a must for the instructor to join the battle this time. MCMAU's high-rank grandmasters have to join the battle too. This is also a must. When the battle starts, God knows how many people will die. There's not much time left for us. That's it. Fong Ping did not wait any longer. He left quickly. This trip to capital city this time was not without gains. The gains were not small. At the very least, he knew what he should do next. No matter what old Zhang's plan was, there was someone on the true king's side, so he could relax a lot. If Wu Quishan could not join the battle, Fong Ping was prepared to find another rank 9 to help. If there were less than 10 rank 9s, without a top-notch powerhouse like Zhang Weiyu, the catacombs might not send out reinforcements at the beginning. Fong Ping firmly believed that he could win. However, there were also Pyrrhic victories and complete victories. He did not want anyone to die this time. If that was the case, then there would be a lot of work to be done. This included the provision of various equipment, the supply of imperishable substances, as well as those rank 7 and 8 martial artists that he needed to take care of so that the overall battle situation would not be affected. Fighting a war is burning money. I can still afford it. After conquering the Magic City catacombs, the money that was burned can almost be recovered. As for the Jiao, is it still alive? Fong Ping thought of the Jiao. He did not know if it was still alive. However, if he could not find the Jiao, he could try to find other demons. There were a lot of fools in the demon race. They were easy to fool. Back then, he had fooled a group of demons in the bounded boundaries and left Feng Jiuqing behind. As long as he manipulated it well, there was no demon that he could not fool. Just as Fong Ping was thinking about these things, Magic City catacombs, the bounded boundaries, a golden bright monster sneezed. It shook its big head, its big eyes revealing a hint of doubt. What's wrong now? I'm a peak rank 8 monster. Why am I sneezing a little too much recently? Did the Huai King want to kill me again? The Jiao's eyes instantly turned fierce. It would not be so easy to kill me. I'm not done with him. Then, the Jiao's big face showed a hint of disappointment. It was a pity that it could not defeat the Huai King. Forget it. It would continue to hide here. Although the demons here were stupid, it was precisely because of their stupidity that it could survive here. Forget it. At the same time, Shishan Catacombs. In the Xuanda Grotto Heaven, a few monsters were in a terrible state. Each of them had a sorrowful look in their eyes. They could not go on like this. This old pervert tortured them every day. They could not take it anymore. If they had known earlier, they would not have coveted a better cultivation environment. They were bewitched by that human and entered the inner circle. Here, they still had to plow the fields There was no justice in this world. They were demons, the extremely powerful demons. In the outer circle of the bounded boundaries, they were the regional kings, the leaders of their clans. They did not plow the fields. P.S. There were 2 updates today. One more update is missing. The basic update is missing 4 updates. There is too much noise. Jiotian Divine Emperor. Chapter 794. Fong Ping had no idea how Jiao and the other demons were faring. On December 7th, Fong Ping returned to MCMAU. This time, Fong Ping was not in a hurry to go to the catacombs. He had just broken through to rank 8 7th level and had no time to rest these days. After resting for a few days in MCMAU, Fong Ping was ready to depart for the Magic City catacombs. December 12th, the weather gradually turned cold. The cold wind howled in the air. Fong Ping, Warlord, and Jiang Chao rode the Sorcerer's Flight towards Startown City. Zhang Tao had once again come to Magic City to keep watch. The 3 of them soared through the air. Looking down at the land, the Battle King sighed with emotion. He chuckled and said, "Back when Startown was built, it was different from now. At that time, there weren't any skyscrapers." With that said, Warlord looked at the plane flying away above his head and smiled again. "I always feel that we've been eliminated by the times. Over the years I spent at Mount Royal Sea, I didn't have much time to come back. Now that I'm back, things are still the same, but people have changed." The War Monarch sighed softly. Back then, suppressing Star City was probably built with this in mind. No matter how the outside world develops, at the very least, it would leave us a place we're familiar with so that we wouldn't have to leave the catacombs and see the world change. 300 years had passed, and everything was different from before. Fong Ping smiled. After thinking for a while, he asked, "Senior, was it the Heavenly King organization that organized the suppressing Heavenly King when you and the others built Star City?" The War King fell into deep thought. After a while, he said softly, "He was the one who organized it. 300 years ago, the passageway to the catacombs actually opened. However, at that time, we didn't know anything. There were many things we didn't know. We didn't even know who we were or what the catacombs were. Back then, the subduing Heavenly King found us and organized us." After listening for a while, Fong Ping asked curiously, "You were on Earth back then? Not the catacombs?" "It's Earth." Warlord chuckled. "We were all on Earth at the time, not in the catacombs. However, we have no memories, no past, no future. We only have strength, and we don't even know how to control it. We almost caused a disaster. Actually, a lot of times, we wonder if we're really human." Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. The War Monarch smiled again and said, "After all, we are also in the desperate realm. Over the past several hundred years, we actually have some guesses about many things. Perhaps we're just some undying parts of the fallen that have revived, and that's why we lost everything. Did we recover on our own, or were we revived by someone else? These are actually more likely to be man-made." Warlord was in a good conversational mood this time. He looked at Fong Ping and said slowly, "Perhaps some people have guessed that it was the Li family's old geezer who revived us, but in reality, I don't think so. The ones who revived us might be those old antiques from the land of boundaries." Fong Ping's expression changed, but he did not speak. The War Monarch smiled faintly and said, "The possibility is very high. In order to prevent the powerhouses of the catacombs from entering the domain boundary and disturbing their slumber, the old ghosts of the domain boundary revived us. We are actually the gatekeepers of the domain boundary. Perhaps not all of the 13 paragons in Stellar Sky City are like this, but I feel that a portion of them are like this." The War King had a playful look on his face as he grinned and said, "There are still 8 intact domains, so among the 13 of us, at least 8 of us are actually from the domain. We are their gatekeepers, including me. I am the same. As for me, it is very likely that I came from the Purple Cap Mountain. Back then, I might have been a member of the Purple Cap Mountain, so I revived and began to guard the domain zone, preventing the powerhouses from entering the catacombs." "You came from the Purple Cap Mountain?" Fong Ping was a little surprised, but also felt that it was natural. Yes, it was very likely that the war monarch and the others came from the domain boundary. Moreover, the war monarch had been guarding the Nanjiang catacombs all this time, so the probability of him coming from the Purple Cap Mountain was very high. The war monarch continued, "We don't know the exact situation of the other few paragons in Stellar Sky City, including the old ghost of the Leaf family. They won't say either. Whether everyone has lost their memories and everything, we have no way of knowing." The war monarch thought for a while and said, "However, there is one thing that you might also be clear about. It's about that person from the Yang family." The war monarch took a deep breath and said with a smile, "Now that things have come to this, some things are no longer secrets. We actually have no connection with the domain boundary because we can't enter it. However, the old ghost of the Leaf family once said that when the domain boundary opens, we can return to the domain boundary. Remember, it's going back, not going in? We don't know how he knew, but he might be connected to some of the old antiques in the domain boundary. This is still a possibility. That person from the Yang family hasn't made any progress for many years. Coincidentally, there is a strong pressure in the domain boundary. Perhaps it's the manifestation of a powerhouse's Tao and mentality. Perhaps he couldn't resist the temptation and finally entered the domain boundary himself. He probably wanted to devour or comprehend the other party's Tao of origin and become a top-notch powerhouse among the paragons. Whether this is the case or not, there's no way to determine right now. But the old ghost of the Yang family died in the domain boundary, in the void mausoleum grotto heaven. The war monarch's gaze was slightly strange. I don't know why this happened. Perhaps the old ghost of the Yang family was greedy and wanted to devour the other party before he died. Perhaps we shouldn't have entered. Perhaps the old ghost of the Yang family discovered some secrets and was killed by the other party. Fong Ping, those fellows in the domain boundary, their thoughts are too complicated. Even the paragons can be killed. Perhaps they borrowed some of the arrangements in the domain boundary to achieve this step. Perhaps the existences in the domain boundary are all very powerful. They might even be the remnants of the most powerful group of people in the domain boundary back then. So they have the capital to kill the paragons. The one from the Yang family isn't considered strong. He's considered weak among the paragons. Entering the other party's territory, being suppressed by the other party, and being killed is not surprising. The war monarch said for a while, then said, "As for the old ghost of the Leaf family, he's either the spokesperson that the domain boundary pushed out, or he's simply one of the overlords." The war monarch looked pensive. He smiled and said, "It's very likely that he's the spokesperson that the domain boundary pushed out. All of us were organized by him. He knows a lot of things, including some matters about the domain boundary, including our guarding of Mount Imperial Sea. He's the one who told us all about it. Or he's simply one of the overlords who woke up in advance and connected all the major domain boundaries. Perhaps our revival is also led by him. He needs a group of helpers. In short, this matter is very complicated. He won't say anything even when we asked." At this time, Fong Ping interrupted, "Senior, that subduing Heavenly King organized a large family to guard Mount Imperial Sea. Is there anyone who's unwilling?" "Of course there is." The war monarch revealed a look of reminiscence again. He said slowly, "If a person you've never met suddenly came to you and told you that your responsibility is to guard Mount Imperial Sea, would you agree? Would you agree?" There are many who wouldn't agree, but you don't understand the situation back then. We're a group of people without a past or a future. We were at a loss and didn't know what to do. He told us that it was our responsibility to guard Mount Royal Sea, and that we would find out everything, including our pasts, in the end. Should we go to Mount Imperial Sea or not? Some people were unwilling to go, but I have to say that the old ghost of the Leaf family has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. In short, under his instigation and bluffing, we all went to Mount Imperial Sea in the end. Of course, there's a time lag in between. At that time, we've also settled down, married, and had children. We've formed our own clans and families." At this point, the war monarch sighed with emotion. A group of people who don't know the past or the future actually have descendants and bloodline connections. That's what they care about the most. The war monarch glanced at little Fatty, who was listening attentively, and chuckled. With the bloodline inheritance, we feel like we're really living like humans and not just passersby in life. And in this, that person from the Leaf family also played a part. He calculated a lot of things, including our lives. He was the one who guided many things in the dark. With a clan, a bloodline inheritance, and his brainwashing, in short, in the end, everyone went to Mount Imperial Sea. This time, we've boarded a pirate ship. As soon as we go to Mount Imperial Sea, we'll be enemies with the Catacombs' true king. When that time comes, we'll have no way out. Fong Ping asked curiously. At that time, everyone knew it was dangerous. Didn't anyone want to leave? Yes. The war monarch laughed again. Of course. The first time I fought with the Catacombs' true king, I suffered a huge loss. I don't think it's a good deal. I don't want to do it anymore. I'll just disband. I'm a top powerhouse. The world is big. Where can I go? If worst comes to worst, I'll leave the catacombs and find a place to live in seclusion with my family. Why should I suffer in Mount Imperial Sea and risk my life for others? But some things, even though you know this is the case, it's hard to make such a decision. I've said it before. When the Leaf family's old geezer found us, we were all blank. We didn't know anything. He's actually our master. He taught us martial arts and combat techniques. Everything we have was given to us by him. He's also good at bluffing. When we want to disband, he's like a carrot and a stick. The future is beautiful. If we give up now and want to leave, not only will we become enemies with him, but they'll also no longer protect our family and disciples. If you want to leave, you can find a place to hide in the catacombs, or just leave Earth and never come back. If you want to enjoy life on Earth, that won't do. Then you have to work hard. Fong Ping asked doubtfully. They let you stay just like that. It's not just that. The war monarch continued. You should know one thing. When martial artists reach this level, they actually want to go further. No one is willing to stay stagnant. The Lee family's old geezer tempted us because of this. Do you want to continue improving your strength? Do you want to become stronger? Then continue to guard Mount Imperial Sea. Just like that, as time went by, more than 100 years passed. During this period, we fought with the Catacombs' true king many times. We can be considered to have formed a deadly feud. By that time, there was actually no way to retreat anymore. Some of our family members died at Mount Imperial Sea. I've always suspected that the Leaf family's old geezer did this on purpose. The war monarch said viciously. That fellow was afraid that we would run away. So he wanted us to form a deadly feud with the other party. I've told you, we value our descendants very much. Because we don't have a past life, the existence of the descendants' bloodline allows us to live like humans. My children died in battle, my wife died in battle. How could I not want revenge? The war monarch continued. Also, the wives we married back then were most likely arranged by the Leaf family's old geezer. You also know that we were all noobs in the beginning. What do we know about love? If there's a woman who cares about you and cares for you, how can you not be moved? Where did these women come from? 99% of them were arranged by that old geezer. Of course, knowing is knowing. At that time, we didn't care about these things. Later on, these women died in battle. Maybe it was secretly instigated by the Leaf family's old geezer, or simply ordered. Fong Ping suddenly sympathized with the war monarch. He said softly, if that's the case, the Heavenly King's subduing king actually dictated your senior's fate. Senior, have you never resented him? Resented? The war monarch smiled faintly. I have, but this old geezer. Let me put it this way, he's a little similar to the current Zhang Tao. Let me ask you, do you resent Zhang Tao? Everything we have, most of it was given by him. Some things are hard to explain. Fong Ping pondered for a moment. After a while, he said, then what is the Heavenly King subduing king's goal? To protect humanity? To protect the bounded zone? Or something else? Who knows? The war monarch said faintly. Not only him, there are a few others who may not be the same as us. What is their goal? Who knows? I've said, among the 13 paragons, there are probably no more than 10 paragons in the bounded zone. Therefore, the remaining few might have some sort of tacit understanding with old Geezer Lee. There were a few times we wanted to disband, but old Geezer Lee wasn't the only one who didn't agree. The remaining 12 of us didn't have the same opinion either. I'm afraid some of them were hired by old geezer Lee. Are these the people from different periods that you mentioned, Senior? Probably. The war monarch chuckled. They should be. Anyway, they're older than us. We're just blank sheets of paper. Although there are some changes after a few hundred years, and we have some experience, compared to them, we're still lacking a lot. If that's the case, the Heavenly King subduing King should know about the brain nucleus cultivation method, and even the exclusive mentality cultivation method. Why didn't he pass it down? Fong Ping asked this question. He had been holding this question in for a long time. The war monarch pondered for a moment. Maybe it's a tacit understanding, or a rule. Some things, in their eyes, may not be divulged to outsiders. Of course, we can't rule out the possibility that he doesn't know about it. This old geezer, who knows if he's a resurrected martial artist or someone who's always been alive. If he's a resurrected martial artist, then it's normal that he doesn't know about it. Senior, why are you willing to tell me so much today? Fong Ping asked. These peerless martial artists did not like to talk too much. If they asked about some secrets, it would be useless even if they knew. It would only increase the pressure. In short, they did not talk about it. It was as if knowing would have the opposite effect. Just a few days ago, when Fong Ping asked about this, the war monarch did not mention much. Now, however, the war monarch had told him many things. Why? The war monarch laughed. There's no why. It's not a big secret. Besides, in this day and age, some things are almost public. Do you really think Zhang Tao knows nothing? No, he knows a lot of things. Zhang Tao actually knows more than Li Jun. It's just that he doesn't want to talk about it. Zhang Tao doesn't trust us. He knows some things, but he keeps it in his heart and thinks of ways to solve it himself. Do you know why Zhang Tao improved so quickly? There are many reasons. Don't mention that monster plant. A monster plant shouldn't have made him like this, the war monarch said with a smile. His secrets are no less than yours. When Zhang Tao was young, he had many great opportunities. He's also entered the bounded domain before. Fong Ping's eyes moved slightly. Zhang Tao had entered the bounded domain before? The war monarch laughed again. This guy is the #1 person in the new martial arts era. He's the undisputed #1. Not only has he been to the bounded domain before, but he's also been to the Forbidden Sea. He's been to many places and even obtained opportunities in the Forbidden Sea. This guy, when he was young, he was also not afraid of death. He dared to go anywhere. Do you really think he knows nothing about the Forbidden Zone? Then you're wrong. He's very brave. He's even entered the Forbidden Zone before. He's also been to the War Monarch's land. He's even on good terms with some dynasty and divine sect powerhouses. Do you dare to believe it? The war monarch laughed. He's been planning this since a long time ago. A long time ago, before he reached the pinnacle, he brought back some catacombs humans from the outer realm to train. From young. When they grew up, this guy sent them back to the outer realm and used it to enter the Forbidden Zone. He even sent them directly to the Imperial Sea Mountain and began to explore the Forbidden Zone. Do you really think he knows nothing about the Forbidden Zone? Then you're wrong. He has many eyes and ears in the Forbidden Zone. Even if some people betrayed him and some people stopped contacting him, there are still many people who are in contact with him. Of course, unless it's a critical moment. Otherwise, you won't know who his people are. Do you know that before this, the Forbidden Catacombs was the Wuan Army's territory? It was his territory alone. No one was allowed to enter. He actually has a plan in the Forbidden Catacombs. Even the destruction of the Forbidden Catacombs before could be to silence people and destroy evidence. He's been running the Forbidden Catacombs for so many years. How could he not have any backup plans? This guy is very sinister. Even the Li family's old geezer once said that Zhang Taoxing was born in the wrong era. If it was another era, this guy might even have the hope of becoming an emperor. Fong Ping frowned slightly. Minister, it's not wrong to plan ahead and make some preparations, but it shouldn't be too useful, right? Even if he sends some people into the Forbidden Zone, I'm afraid they'll only be at the Origin Dao realm at most. They won't be able to play a key role. Won't be able to play a key role. The war monarch sneered and said lightly, How do you know it won't be useful? Everything is possible. Also, don't underestimate Zhang Tao. This guy's ability to bewitch people is not small. Others aside, among the catacombs' true kings, he might have allies. Huh? Fong Ping was shocked. How was that possible? Don't look at me like that. The war monarch grinned. There might be. He didn't oversee Mount Imperial Sea, but he would often patrol it. He had seen many true kings. Some had fought with him, some had come into contact with him, and some had even talked and laughed with him, drinking and discussing the Tao with him. Don't think that all the catacombs' true kings are bent on invading the human world. Do some weak paragons really want to invade the human world? That might not be the case. If Zhang Tao bewitched them a little, he might gain something. The war monarch said. Seeing Zhang Chao and Fong Ping's dumbfounded expressions, he continued with a smile. Let's put it this way. About 7 or 8 years ago, Zhang Tao seemed to have gone to the Forbidden Sea once. At that time, there were also catacombs' true kings who went to the Forbidden Sea. We don't know the specifics. The only thing we know is that those true kings who returned that time did not appear in the Mount Royal Sea region again. Nobody knows what happened in between. You're saying that he reached an agreement with those true kings? The possibility is very high. The warlord smiled again and said, So, don't underestimate Zhang Tao. To be honest, even if an all-out war broke out now, the humans might still have a chance of winning. This guy said that the human race was in danger. But was it really in danger? Not only him, but also the Leaf family's old devil. Let's put it this way. In the past 1,000 years, there have been 3 human leaders, all of whom came from China. Demon Emperor Unquestionable Jian, Heavenly King Li Xuanxie, Martial King Zhang Tao. Unquestionable Sword might not be able to compare to these two. Unquestionable Sword could not be considered to have created an era, but these two did. Although the new martial era was founded by Shun and Shun, it was Zhang Tao who really brought the new martial era to glory. He is the soul and core of the new martial era, and also the most outstanding genius of this era. Fong Ping's eyebrows twitched slightly. He asked again, Senior, you first told me about Star Town, and now you're talking about Minister Zhang. What do you want to tell me? The warlord chuckled and said, Nothing. I just want to tell you that everyone has their own plans. Everyone's goal was the same, and that was to survive the crisis before them. But what about after the crisis? Also, the racial crisis this time is not just a racial crisis. There are also some messy factors entangled in it. It may also involve some ancient powerhouses schemes. In short, if you don't want to be a pawn, then be a player. And this requires strength and influence. You improving MCMEU's strength is actually the right thing to do. If MCMEU has a few paragons, then when the crisis comes, there will still be people who can be trusted. And this time is actually an opportunity. The warlord narrowed his eyes and said, This time, after taking down Magic City's catacombs, MCMU will run the catacombs. Not just the catacombs, but also the bounded domain. Fong Ping, this time the timing is just right. I am guarding Magic City's catacombs. At the critical moment, if there is a chance, if there is really an old devil still alive in the bounded domain, it is best to cooperate. If not, think of a way to get rid of the other party. Seize the bounded domain. Find a way out for MCMEU, and also a way out for the Zhang family's descendants. The bounded domain is very dangerous. Even paragons have the risk of dying if they go in. Unless it is absolutely necessary, paragons will not go in. However, if we can seize the bounded domain, then we can attack and defend at will. We will have a real foothold. At this point, the warlord finally revealed his purpose. Fong Ping was a little surprised. After a while, he said, Senior, what you mean is you and I will cooperate? No, the Zhang family and MCMU will cooperate. The warlord grinned and said, Can I? I don't have this qualification. Since everyone has their own plans, then let's plan and plan too. The MCMU of the past naturally did not have this qualification and was not worthy of my attention. But now, that's hard to say. Kid, not only the Zhang family, but also the Su family. My relationship with Old Devil Su is quite good. Old Devil Sue is also a top-notch powerhouse among the paragons, not weaker than me. Let's think of a way out together. As for whether we can use it or not, we'll talk about it later. But we can't put all our hopes on others. The warlord continued. There's one more thing. The situation in the bounded domain is complicated. It's not just the benefits that you see. Those are all on the surface. The bounded domain has always been raising the demon race. Not just those inside the bounded domain, but also those in the forbidden sea. The warlord said softly, most of the demons in the bounded domain will enter the forbidden sea when they reach rank 9. These demons have always relied on the energy provided by the bounded domain to survive, including those imperishable substances. Fong Ping, do you really think that the forbidden energy boundary at the periphery of the bounded domain is an accident? No, maybe it's intentional. At a specific time, the energy tide erupts, raising these demons. The demons in the bounded domain and the forbidden sea are not very intelligent. At critical moments, they may be controlled by the bounded domain. The warlord said playfully, maybe when the bounded domain is revived, those old antiques will come out of seclusion. They may not have any disciples, but a group of powerful demons may appear under their command. That's hard to say. Also, who says that the bounded domain must not have any disciples? Did they really die in battle? Not necessarily. How many of the bounded domain have you been to? How many places have you been to? In the Lake of Eternal, are there really only revived antiques? When the time comes, it's not impossible for a group of powerhouses to emerge. What I'm saying is to tell you, when it's time to leave a backup plan, you still have to. Don't become a loner in the end. Fong Ping did not utter a word, but he was thinking a lot in his heart. Today's warlord was slightly different from the careless, outspoken Fong Ping's impression of him. However, taking down a bounded domain might really be necessary. The bounded domain was very dangerous, but once the bounded domain could be controlled, it would be the safest area. Over there, even the Paragon could face the danger of falling. In normal times, the strongest that entered were only rank 9. If they could really turn the bounded domain into MCMU's backyard, maybe there would be a pleasant surprise. 9 Heaven's Divine Emperor. Chapter 795. Fong Ping did not expect Warlord to want to join forces with him. Fong Ping did not speak much on the way. Now that things had come to this, Fong Ping actually knew some things. Everyone was not as simple as they appeared to be. When they were in a desperate situation, they all had their own plans. However, when they were about to reach Star City, Fong Ping still said, Senior, the urgent matter is still the crisis of the catacombs. If these crises are not resolved, everything will be for naught. Fong Ping's expression was solemn, even a little heavy. He said slowly, I don't care if everyone has their own plans. If they only know how to fight and kill, then I've underestimated the apex. However, the future of mankind cannot be decided by individual people. If they really want to abandon the masses, Fong Ping, do not have the strength, so I can only accept my fate. When I have that strength, if some people still want to abandon everyone, then I won't be polite. Of course, the main premise is to defend against the catacombs. Warlord chuckled softly. This is also the consensus of everyone. Let's not talk about people like us. Kid, let me tell you, Zhang Tao is sinister, but it doesn't mean he doesn't care about mankind. Honestly, compared to us, he is the master of this era. He was born for this era. We may give up on the humans of the neo-martial era, but he won't. So, if you really want to choose, Zhang Tao is more reliable than Old Devil Li, I know this. Fong Ping took a deep breath and said slowly, Are people like Heavenly King Garrison really unable to defeat the catacombs? Or are they unwilling? If they're unwilling, then in these hundreds of years were the deaths of the martial artists and soldiers who died in battle worth it? Fong Ping said with a complicated expression, Regarding the apex, I've always felt that mankind actually owes these desperate realm powerhouses, guarding Mount Royal Sea for hundreds of years just to protect human civilization. How great! How glorious! But one day, If the truth tells me that the apex guarding Mount Royal Sea, maybe it was just their own plan, or even their own initiative to start a war between the two worlds. When that time comes, you will no longer be heroes, but sinners. Fong Ping's tone was also extremely complicated. He murmured, desperate realm powerhouses are all heroes. Senior, don't destroy the image of the apex powerhouses in my eyes anymore. I'd rather believe that you and these people are protecting mankind. If you are passive, even if you have a plan, it is nothing. You are still heroes. But if you take the initiative to open the passageway, take the initiative to cause a war between two realms, take the initiative to do all of this, then all of you will be sinners, and the so-called heroes will be the biggest joke in the world. Today, in order to defend against the catacombs, the humans who had sacrificed themselves had all turned into fools. This is something we absolutely cannot tolerate. For 100 years, generations of martial artists and soldiers have bravely sacrificed themselves and fought to the last moment of their lives. In the end, it was the heroes in our eyes who schemed and schemed for their own selfish interests. Is it right for them? Would they be able to face those humans who were fighting on the front lines? Why? For the sake of becoming an emperor? To unify the two worlds? What a joke! I would rather believe that this is a battle to defend against the invasion of foreign enemies, a battle to pass on the torch of humanity, than to believe that this is a conspiracy. From the beginning to the end, we are just pawns in someone else's hands. We don't want to believe it, and we can't accept it. If it really is like that, then when the day comes, if I have the strength, I definitely won't let these people off. Using billions of lives as pawns, as nobodies. What a joke. No one has the right to do that. Not even emperors. Warlord chuckled. I'm not one of them. Kid, I've really shed my blood for countless years for humanity. You better take it easy, kid. Maybe you're one of the chess players. Don't think that you know nothing now. It's hard to say in the future. You've come into being at the moment when the war between two realms is approaching. It's very likely that it's some people's plot, or even your own plot. When that time comes, you'll have to kill yourself first. Fong Ping rolled his eyes and said helplessly, if I'm really the mastermind, then it has nothing to do with me. I'm Fong Ping. Other people's matters have nothing to do with me. Even if it's really my past life, it's the same. At most, I'll kill my past life and erase all traces. What does that have to do with me? I'm fighting for humanity. I've shed my blood for humanity. That's why I'm a hero, not some schemer behind the scenes. Warlord could not help but laugh. Then he grinned and said, that's right. We're all heroes of humanity. We are now, and I think we will be in the future too. Old Devil Lee and the others are too. Before we betray humanity, everyone is. We can't deny everyone's contributions. We've protected humanity for hundreds of years at Mount Imperial Sea. This is our greatest achievement. If there's a day when a betrayal really happens, then they won't be heroes but sinners. As for what these fellows are plotting, it's not important. If the war between two realms is unavoidable and it's guided along the way, then it's not their fault. But if it can be avoided, but they've started it artificially in the end, then it's their fault. Warlord extricated himself. Very quickly, he smiled and said, all right, let's not talk about this. Tell me about your trip to the bounded zones this time. Kid, I've said before that the bounded zones are quite dangerous. As for you, even if you want to seize the bounded zones, don't show it, lest you get killed. I think there's a backup plan in the bounded zones, or the existence of a control mechanism that can shut down those restrictions. When you go this time, if there's a chance, you should mainly find out about these. Of course, it's better if you don't. After seizing Magic City's catacombs, you can explore it slowly. There's no hurry. If the opportunity is right, I'll enter the bounded zones and do something. It's best if we work together. We'll have an old antique as an ally. If they don't work together, if they're not hostile toward us, then we could take a look first. If they're hostile but aren't willing to contribute, Warlord's expression suddenly turned serious. He said coldly, then kill them. I don't want to be attacked from both front and back one day. The catacomb's true king is right in front. If an old antique comes from behind and gives me a fatal blow, where can I go? If they're not willing to confess everything, then that's a sign of hostility. I don't care what their motives are. If they're open about it, then it's fine. If they're not willing, then treat them as enemies. Fong Ping, remember my words. Don't treat these people as good people. Otherwise, you'll become someone else's chess piece sooner or later. Fong Ping smiled. If they're weak, then so be it. It doesn't matter if they're chess pieces or not. When I'm strong enough, chess pieces can also smash the chessboard. If they want to play chess, I'll kill them all. If they want any chess players, they'll just have to accept their fate obediently. How domineering. Warlord laughed loudly. He turned his head to look at Jiang Chao and said with a smile, "Little fatty, you should interact more with these guys in the future. Of course, you can forget about doing missions together. Doesn't he have a younger sister? Find a chance to get close to him. Who knows, maybe we'll become family. Invest in multiple areas. There'll come a time when you'll make money. Maybe you'll earn enough for a lifetime with just one investment." Fong Ping's expression darkened. He shot a glance at Jiang Chao. Try and say that? Jiang Chao seemed to sense danger. He smiled sheepishly and said, "Old ancestor, I'm not interested in that little girl. Besides, Fong Ping and I are old acquaintances. I can't do anything to an old acquaintance's sister, can I? Fong Ping, why don't we become sworn brothers? In the future, my old ancestor will be your old ancestor. You've made a killing." Fong Ping was speechless. He could not be bothered with him anymore. As they spoke, the three of them had arrived at Star Town. Outside Star Town, Warlord did not enter the inner area. Instead, he wandered around the outer area. Soon, Fong Ping followed Warlord into the sky. The passageway to Mount Royal Sea isn't underground. It's in the sky. Warlord laughed. The few of us join forces to make a barrier, so outsiders can't see it. There's usually no one guarding this place, so we can't stop true kings from coming in and out. As for those below true king rank, they can't get out with the barrier that we've made together. As he spoke, Warlord waved his hand, and a transparent passageway appeared. Fong Ping followed him up the transparent stairs. Behind him, Jiang Chao was just about to take a step forward when Warlord, without saying a word, struck him with a palm and sent him flying. He chuckled and said, "This little fatty is so blind. Is this a place he can come to?" As he spoke, the two of them had already entered the sealed interior. Fong Ping glanced over. It was a very simple setup, or rather, there was no setup at all. It was just a black vortex suspended in midair. Fong Ping and Warlord, on the other hand, were in a transparent ball. This was the barrier created by the Paragon. Seeing this, Fong Ping thought for a while and said, "Senior, why don't the other catacombs' entrances build similar barriers? This way, even rank 9 martial artists can't enter and exit, and humans will be much safer. In your dreams, this thing needs to be replenished and consumed frequently. We don't have the energy to do it. We have to maintain Star Town's solidified barrier and the one here, which is troublesome enough. Moreover, we don't come out for a long time, so we have to maintain it often. If we don't maintain it, our mentality won't last forever. Then what about Mount Royal Sea? It's different over there. It was created by countless paragons, and it's also adapted to the time. Also, the catacomb seal hasn't dissipated because the catacombs have sufficient energy that can be replenished at any time. Humans don't have it, so we have to replenish it ourselves. It's very troublesome." Fong Ping understood and said, "Then from the passageway in Star Town, where is the Mount Royal Sea that we're at?" "We just entered. It belongs to the 17th Southern Territory, which is the Shishan Catacombs." Warlord laughed. "Star Town is actually connected to the Shishan Catacombs here. Oh right, when you go in, it's best if you change your appearance, lest the catacomb's true king sees you and causes trouble." Fong Ping thought for a while. The next moment, Fong Ping transformed into Jiang Hao's appearance, smiling. "Senior, how about this?" Warlord glanced at him. After a while, he said, "Good skill. With this skill alone, if you can maintain it for a long time, even if Earth is destroyed, you can still live comfortably in the catacombs. You can find a small city and be a local tyrant. The catacombs are so big, who has the time to check them one by one? Disguised as a rank 6, and become a local tyrant. No one will care. Fong Ping laughed. That's not as comfortable as it is now. Now, I can do whatever I want. When that time comes, I have to look at other people's faces and be careful, afraid of being discovered. That's true. Warlord laughed. Later, follow me in. Just say that you're going to Mount Royal Sea to train. There are people in Startown who go to Mount Royal Sea to train too. Call me Old Ancestor. Try not to let others know that you've gone to Magic City's catacombs. Senior, you mean, so that others won't have any ideas about you. Warlord laughed cheerfully. He said straightforwardly, you've been in the limelight recently. Many old farts want to invest in you, but they're weak and don't know anything. There's no harm in working together with me. Do you know why I'm on good terms with Zhang Tao? That's because when he was young, he received my kindness. Now he still owes me a favor. I have a sharp eye. Everyone who invests will get a return. Of course, it's a win-win situation. No one loses anything. Don't think about relying on others now. Those people are unreliable and not strong enough. They can be killed at any time. Do you understand? Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. He said, Senior, you really think highly of me. It's nothing. It's just a small investment. It's not a loss even if I die. If I don't die, I'll have made a profit. Warlord grinned. This is called a small capital and huge profits. All these years, there are many powerhouses who owe me favors. When it comes to a critical moment, all I have to do is call, and followers will gather. Fong Ping broke into laughter again and said nothing more. Warlord pondered for a moment. Suddenly he said, I won't give you the avatars. Be careful not to cause a misunderstanding over at the Magic City realm. I might be from Purple Cap Mountain. I might not be a friend, but an enemy. If you really encounter danger in the realm, you can use the names of Old Devil Li or Zhang Tao. Warlord grinned. Don't worry. If the old devils in the realm are still alive, they'll most likely know about these two. They'll have some scruples. These two fellows are not easy to deal with. They can threaten the old devils in the realm. If we let them exist now, it's not worth it to pay a huge price to attack. If we really attack, these old devils might not be a match for these two. Kid, don't be a coward. It's fine if the old devils inside don't say anything, but if they do threaten them directly, cough, cough, I mean at a critical moment. Just use Old Devil Li and Zhang Tao to intimidate them. After some thought, Warlord took out a token and smiled. This belongs to Old Devil Li. Take it. As for Zhang Tao, do you have your own? Fong Ping nodded. Yes. He gave me a lot of fake clones previously. I still have a few left. That's good. The War King chuckled. Let's go. Of course. Remember not to rashly provoke these old geezers. Understood? After chatting with Warlord for a while, Fong Ping stepped into the vortex. The next moment, Fong Ping's eyes lit up. There was no passageway. On the other side of the vortex was Imperial Sea Mountain. The moment Fong Ping stepped onto the peak of Mount Royal Sea, it was the first time he saw a top-notch powerhouse other than Warlord in Stellar Sky City. A skinny old man was sitting cross-legged at the peak of Mount Royal Sea. Seeing Warlord and Fong Ping enter, the old man glanced at Fong Ping and said lightly, You brought your kid in at this time. Where are you going? The War King said impatiently, None of your business. Fong Ping was a little dazed and did not say anything for a while. The old man not far away was not surprised. He said indifferently, You can't go to the King battlefield. It's very dangerous recently. As for the interior of Mount Royal Sea, Zhang Hao will be in great danger if he goes in alone. I know. You talk too much. I'll bring him to Magic City. I'll keep an eye on him. I'd like to see which blind demon dares to kill him. If he kills my descendant, I'll wipe out those demons. Those demon kings in the 10,000 demon royal court won't dare to talk shit to me. Motherfasters Kerr, I only have a few descendants. If I kill one, I won't let them off. The War King was very domineering. He laughed and said, All right, Old Devil Chun, guard the door well. You can only guard the door. Maple King probably won't come for a while. You can relax for a few days. Fong Ping remembered that Chun Guyong was guarding the West Mountain catacombs. Now it seemed that it was not only the West Mountain catacombs. He was also responsible for guarding the passageway to Stellar Sky City. However, was this not too dangerous? This passageway led directly to the outside world. Could Chun Guyong do it alone? He did not seem strong among the top-notch powerhouses. The War King did not explain. He greeted Chun Guyong for a while and quickly left with Fong Ping. After walking for a while, the War King said telepathically, "Are you curious? There's only old Devil Chin here. How can he guard the passageway? Why doesn't the catacombs' true king attack the 17th Southern Territory directly and enter Earth?" A little. You don't understand. This passageway is actually more dangerous than the passageway to the outside world. This is considered a stowaway passageway. It doesn't exist originally. Or rather, it's a temporary passageway. If someone dares to enter the catacombs' peak, Chun Guyong doesn't have to stop them. As long as they attack the vortex the moment they enter, the vortex will erupt into chaos and kill the true king powerhouse who enters directly. Of course, we're almost the same. It's very dangerous anyway. When we go in and out, we'll let one person guard here, and he'll be the reliable kind. We don't trust ordinary people. Old Devil Chun is more of a good person. That's why everyone can accept him guarding here. Tell me, if old Devil Lee is guarding here, will everyone be at ease? If I'm guarding here, they won't be at ease either. They're afraid that I'll find a chance to kill them. The War King grinned. In Star City, among the 13 families, I'm on good terms with old Devil Sue. Chun and Shin are on good terms too. Cough, you can think of it as a weak alliance. 2 weak paragons. If you become the paragon, you can beat them up directly. Fong Ping was speechless. What the hell was this? They were 2 paragons after all. How could they not give face to others? As the War King spoke, he walked along the peak of Mount Royal Sea toward the west. This was the direction that led to the 7th Southern Territory. The War King was very fast. This time he still wanted to save face. He refused to walk along the edge and went straight to the peak. As he dragged Fong Ping, he said, "Mount Royal Sea is actually very dangerous. It's not a place to walk casually. A powerful paragon like me can, of course, be unscrupulous. However, normal paragons better behave themselves and take the Grand Canyon passageway. Otherwise, if you encounter multiple space-time rifts, you'll be in big trouble. You might not be able to get out if you get sucked in. Old Devil Chin doesn't dare to go directly. The Catacombs' true king probably doesn't dare to go directly. People like the Maple King can go directly to the peak." Fong Ping thought for a while and said, "Senior, old ancestor, what kind of strength does it take to create a space-time rift? How strong does one need to be to resist it?" Tearing space-time, the War King laughed. "It depends on the location. The catacombs are hard to tear. Earth's is easier because Earth lacks energy. The space isn't stable enough. On Earth, if you can hit more than 100,000 calories vitality with one blow, you might be able to tear space-time. In the catacombs, it'll be at least 150,000 calories and above." The War King continued, "I'm talking about the weakest area. The tear is also the smallest. For example, Li Changxing can do it. His vitality outburst is quite strong. Before he reached the 7th level of Golden Body, when his vitality was only 70,000 calories, he could tear space-time in the catacombs. At that time, his outburst reached 150,000 calories. Fong Ping was a little shocked. That's strong? Doesn't this mean that Instructor Li could already achieve a 100% outburst at that time? He can't do this? Myriad Daos fused into one, and the power of blood and chi doubled. 70,000 calories vitality outburst with 150,000 calories destructive power. It was really terrifying. It's not 100%, but the difference isn't big. The key is that he learned Li Zhen's void-piercing swordsmanship, and it's more compatible. Combat techniques are a combination of strength. He also modified it a little. It suits him better. When he uses void-piercing swordsmanship, his strength is actually increased. That's why a long time ago, he could kill a rank 9 in the catacombs with one blow when he was only at the 3rd or 4th level of Golden Body. At this point, the War King looked at Fong Ping and said, "You do need to learn this." Besides, you don't only have the problem of insufficient strength control. You also lack a main offensive combat technique. That myriad teacher leveling technique you came up with previously? It's this thing, right? That can only be said to be a low-level, high-ranked energy utilization method and a combat method that suits you. It's not a real ultimate art. Of course, there's some foundation. The War King thought for a while and said, you still need to study it deeply and come up with an ultimate art. It can let you unleash more power. When you're fighting others now, your energy is overflowing too much. I see that your vitality has reached more than 110,000 calories, close to 120,000 calories. If a martial artist like you can unleash 100%, you won't be considered weak among rank 9 martial artists. Under normal circumstances, rank 9 martial artists have relatively high strength control, at least as high as 60%. A martial artist with 150,000 calories vitality can unleash at least 90,000 calories of destructive power. What about you? Can you unleash 90,000 calories of destructive power? I think you're at most 50%. If you rely on vitality force alone, you'll be considered strong if you can unleash 60,000 calories. There's a huge gap between you and an originality martial artist. Fong Ping nodded slightly and smiled. But my destructive power is still quite deep. It's as high as 60 yuan now. If I can unleash 50% of my destructive power, it'll be equivalent to a vitality of 150,000 calories. If that's the case, an originality powerhouse might not be my match. So high? The War King was a little surprised. Then, he said in a low voice, is the upper limit of the destructive power of a golden body 7th level so much? Kid, don't rush to elevate your rank. You should focus on controlling your strength. 60 yuan of destructive power is equivalent to a vitality of 300,000 calories. If you really have 100% control of your own strength, there won't be many rank 9 martial artists who are your match. Of course, this is also difficult. Martial artists who have complete control of their own strength, without missing a single bit, and unleash it in one move. It's really rare. Li Chongqing was called a monster. Li Jun was not stingy with his secret arts because of this guy's high control of strength. In rank 9, everyone is basically the same, but why are some people strong and some weak? It's because of this. Li Chongqing is invincible among those of the same rank. It's also because of his control of strength. If this guy can still do this when he's at the pinnacle, it'll be scary. Although this guy will be half crippled after one move, this guy's one move is enough to kill those of the same rank. In a one-on-one battle, this guy is very strong. Fong Ping sighed again. This was not the first time a pinnacle had praised Old Man Li. Li Jun saw Old Man Li as his successor. Zhang Tao had praised Old Man Li many times. Now, the War King was the same. These people were all powerhouses among the pinnacle. They really thought highly of Old Man Li. As for Fong Ping, other than advancing quickly, it seemed like he had never been praised in terms of combat strength. Fong Ping was not the type to defeat the strong. When he fought his opponents, it was always the type that crushed them. Control of strength. It's really difficult. Fong Ping sighed. This was indeed difficult. It was a painstaking effort. He had too many things to do. He was not as dedicated as Old Man Li. The War King did not say anything else. He brought him along and sped along. On the way, they met some of the pinnacles of Star City. However, War King did not talk much. He hurried on with his head down. There was still a long way to go. He had to send Fong Ping to the Magic City catacombs as soon as possible to avoid encountering the catacombs' true king powerhouses. 9 Heavens Divine Emperor. Chapter 796. Magic City Catacombs. The 17th Southern Territory was not far from the 17th Southern Territory by land, but Mount Royal Sea was really far. More than 100,000 li. Even Warlord gave in halfway and chose to walk along the edge of Mount Royal Sea. He could not hold on any longer. On the morning of the 12th, Fong Ping departed from MCMAU. Fong Ping only arrived at Mount Royal Sea, where the Magic City catacombs were located, after dark. The Battle King looked around and said, The Bamboo King and the Green Wolf King aren't here, but they might come here as soon as I come. We're separated by a few thousand li, so it's easy to sense each other." As he said that, Warlord squeezed Fong Ping's neck and said, "I'll send you to the other side now. Leave as soon as possible. Those two will be here soon. Hide your aura. Be careful too. The catacombs know about your situation now. You're a living person hiding your aura. No matter who you turn into, it's still Fong Ping. If someone finds out you're here, it'll be quite troublesome. I don't want to fight these guys now. The last battle took a lot out of me, and I haven't fully recovered yet. Kid, don't screw me over," Warlord said with a straight face. "You guys are all troublemakers. Try not to screw me over." Fong Ping said helplessly, "Senior, am I that kind of person?" Warlord sighed. "Whether you are or not, I've said it before. You guys are born to be troublesome. Even if you don't look for trouble, trouble will come to you. Try to avoid it." Fong Ping was speechless. These words could not be refuted. Without another word, Warlord had already started crossing Mount Royal Sea with him. Mount Royal Sea was like two great dams. The area in between was also very vast. Warlord did not fly too high, as there were space cracks in the sky. As soon as Warlord flew in, his aura exploded. The monsters around him fled, not daring to stay. From afar, Fong Ping heard someone shouting angrily, "Warlord, what do you want?" "For your mother." Warlord also shouted, "I'm going to pee on the other side." "It's none of your business. Mind your own business." "Bastard." The void trembled, and the voice shook the void. Warlord's nonchalant reply enraged the true king who had asked. Warlord ignored the true king outside and transmitted his voice. "Don't leave first. Hide at the foot of Mount Royal Sea. These fellows will definitely scan you later. If you move, you will be easily discovered. Wait until I get rid of them, then you can move. Also, don't pretend to be a Forbidden Zone emissary this time. You've been fooled once, and if you expect the other party to fall for it a second time, then the other party is truly a fool." "I know." As soon as Fong Ping finished speaking, Warlord tossed him off Mount Royal Sea with a casual fling. The next moment, the War King turned around and flew back. He roared, "Do you want to fight? Come on. I've wanted to fight for a long time. Last time, I killed Xianyu. This time, I'll kill the two of you. Zhang Tao, support me." As soon as he finished speaking, the War King broke through the air, and his fists directly smashed through space. The two catacombs true kings who had just arrived looked furious. True King Resurrection was too domineering. At this very moment, the only thought on the minds of the two true kings was to attack the land of rebirth as soon as possible. In the land of rebirth, most of the true kings were silent and would hardly show themselves. But how many true kings were there? That was truly infuriating. The Martial King and the War King were the two thorns among them. They would often take the initiative to look for trouble. Now, both of them had come from the 7 Southern Territory. Just as the War King was shouting, the passageway in the Magic City catacombs began to tremble. The 18 rank 9s guarding outside the passageway changed their expressions again and again. A true king had entered the territory. A true king was coming in through the passageway. "Martial King, how dare you? I'm just passing by. It's too far to go elsewhere. Don't worry, I don't kill ants." In the passageway, Zhang Tao's laughter came, his voice echoing thousands of miles away. He chuckled and said, "Don't worry, we're weak. We'll abide by the rules and won't dare to fall out with you. Isn't that courting death? I'm just passing by. This place is close, but other places are too far. Don't you think I've missed both of you?" "Bastard." In the void, an incomparably huge figure appeared. His upper body was bare, and his muscles were about to explode. His green hair was particularly dazzling. He bellowed, "Martial King, don't force us. The Divine Land is not compromising with you. It's just that we don't want the true kings to bleed. That's why we're letting you struggle at death's door. You provoke us again and again. Do you really think we're easy to bully?" "I said I'm just passing by." Zhang Tao laughed, then sighed and said, "Forget it, then I won't go. Don't lower yourself to War King's level. If we fight now, both of you are dead for sure. If you don't find 3 to 5 true kings, you better not cause trouble. If War King makes a move, I won't be able to sit back and watch." After saying that, Zhang Tao returned to the surface. The passageway no longer trembled. Outside the passageway, the 18 rank 9 powerhouses heaved a sigh of relief. For a moment, everyone felt lucky. Lucky that they did not kill their way out. If they had killed their way out and encountered a true king, they would have been dead for sure. Imperial Sea Mountain. War King laughed loudly. "You two, do you have the guts to fight? If not, then cut the crap. I'm not going in. I'm just watching from the outside." "What's wrong with that?" "Umph." The 2 true king powerhouses snorted coldly. Then their mentality spread out rapidly. Very soon, Bamboo King transmitted his voice to the 7 southern regions. His voice echoed thousands of miles away. "Men, come to Imperial Sea Mountain to investigate. See if Fong Ping has sneaked into the 7 southern regions. If he's discovered, kill him with all your might." These true kings were not stupid. War King had gone to the outskirts for no reason. Could it be that he had sent Fong Ping in? If they sent Fong Ping in, it might cause a huge commotion. That fellow could disguise himself as someone else. It was very troublesome. War King cursed in his heart, but on the surface, he sneered. "Idiot." But then again, Fong Ping really went in. This fellow might have snuck into some city now. You guys check on those powerhouses. Also be careful that the royal city is bombed. As soon as he said that, Bamboo King's expression changed. He shouted quickly, "One divine general for each city. Quick! All cities patrol the mineral vein of life." Bamboo King was on guard. This was not the first time this had happened. A royal city had been bombed in the Tian'an catacombs. Half of the Nanjiang catacombs had been bombed. Previously, even Sky Plant City was almost bombed. Now, if Fong Ping really sneaked into the royal city and bombed the giant mine, it would be a complete disgrace. The next moment, some of the city's powerhouses began to patrol quickly. At the passageway entrance, a total of 12 rank 9 powerhouses began to return. This scene left War King slightly dumbfounded. So effective? If he had known earlier, he might have attacked the Magic City catacombs now. In an instant, 12 rank 9 powerhouses were lured away. This brat has bombed these fellows so much that they're scared. War King glanced at the 2 true kings in front of him and said mockingly, "That's all you got? That's all you got? And you still dare to invade Earth?" The 2 true kings ignored him, their faces gloomy. Fong Ping was a disaster. They could not guard against Fong Ping day and night. They had to find an opportunity to kill Fong Ping first. In the past, Fong Ping did not cause much trouble in the Magic City catacombs, so it was not a big problem. The most troublesome time was the destruction of Sky Gate City, but that was a personal grudge with King Huai. But now, with the personality of the resurrected martial artist, he would counterattack the 7 southern territories sooner or later. In that case, Fong Ping might enter the 7 southern territory again. Bamboo King and Green Wolf King looked at each other, not saying a word. But they had made up their minds. Maybe this was their chance to kill Fong Ping. It could not be helped if he hid on the ground. But once he entered the 7 southern territory, they could think of a way to kill Fong Ping. So what if they broke the agreement? If they killed Fong Ping, would the land of rebirth dare to go to war for a dead man? But with War King and Martial King here, it would be troublesome. The 2 true kings calculated in their hearts for a while. Maybe they needed a few more true kings here in the near future. But recently, everyone was busy with the king battleground. The 100 Kings Assembly was about to start, but it was good. Some true kings who rarely showed their faces would also appear this time. Since everyone had come out, there would be a chance to invite some people here. Mount Royal Sea, at the foot of the mountain, Fong Ping dug a hole and buried himself. Hearing that the 2 true kings wanted to send people to search for him, Fong Ping was still a little worried. But when he heard the 2 shouting for people to return to the city, Fong Ping breathed a sigh of relief. That was good. He had to find a chance to leave. But at this time, the 2 true kings were still here. Fong Ping was worried that it would cause an unforeseen event, so he did not move. After waiting for a while, Fong Ping suddenly heard War King's laughter. Can you not look at me like that? Do you want to fight? I just killed a true king. My hands are itching now. Still looking? Don't force me. Still looking? Then I won't hold back. Rumble. A series of explosions sounded. Fong Ping was speechless listening to them. This temper, although he knew that they were looking for an opportunity for him, this temper of theirs was really awesome. Fong Ping did not delay. While they were fighting, Fong Ping concealed his aura. With a move of his body, he quickly disappeared on the spot. Half an hour later, Fong Ping was far away from Imperial Sea Hill, slightly relieved. At this moment, Fong Ping looked at his own data again. He was fully prepared. He did not know how much he would lose this time. That fellow Jiao had been tricked once. This time, there were no benefits. He might not be tricked again. Wealth, 920 million points vitality, 116,600 calories, 1,167,000 calories, mentality, 7,899 hertz, 7,909 hertz, destructive force, 60 yuan, storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus, energy shield, 1 point/minute plus, aura simulation, 10 point/minute plus, origin detailed analysis, 10-100 million points/time his wealth dropped by 1 billion points. Fong Ping did not care. Previously, he condensed close to 30,000 yuan of imperishable substance. That was already 300 million points spent. In addition to assisting the martial artists in the school in their cultivation, he had also spent a lot. Now there was more than 900 million left. It was enough for him. About 2,000 li to the west is the bounded zone. But I have to pass through the 10,000 ants desert. I have to be careful. Fong Ping assessed the situation in front of him. Without further delay, he quickly used flight step toward the west. There were a few cities in front of him, but this time, Fong Ping avoided them. He did not enter the cities. Even if those rank 9s were not here and had not returned, he did not plan to enter. If he went now, other than blowing up mines, there would be no other use. Blowing up mines, though, why would he blow up his own mine? Back then, he did not blow up Skygate City's mine. Later, it became his. 2,000 li away, in the bounded zone, on a huge abandoned square, the Jiao was lying motionless. In the bounded zone, it was very leisurely. There was no need to cultivate. Every month, he just had to wait for the energy tide to erupt in the bounded zone. There was no point in cultivating normally. Without energy, unable to absorb energy, he might as well just eat and wait for death. Looking at the energetic, red-eyed fellows around him who were ready to start a war, the Jiao was very disdainful. Idiots. They actually thought about fighting all day here. If they were not idiots, what were they? Think of a way to enter the inner circle. There was good stuff inside. So much energy had seeped in, yet none of the demons had considered going in. While the Jiao was lying on the ground, at the side, a galloping goat that looked like a goat wandered over. Out of the 4 golden body monsters back then, 2 were blown up before they could reach the bounded zone. The Jiao and the galloping goat were fast. Although they were almost blown up by King Huai's punch across the air, at least they survived. That day was also a coincidence. The energy tide erupted in the bounded zone. All the demons had gone to absorb the energy, so none of them paid attention to them. Coincidentally, the energy tide erupted, giving them energy to heal. In addition to that, Fong Ping gave them a lump of imperishable substance. At least the 2 monsters managed to repair their golden bodies, saving them from death. As the galloping goat walked over, its mentality fluctuated for a while. The Jiao rolled its huge eyelids. It was too lazy to move, and it did not want to speak. Little brother came here with the intention of being the king of the mountain. Peak rank 8 golden body was not considered weak. It was not impossible to be the king of the mountain. But was it necessary? The bounded zone was only so big. Usually, energy could not be seen here. So what if it was the king? The Jiao was now thinking about how to enter the inner circle. If it entered, perhaps rank 9 would not be a problem. It had improved very quickly. Although it had just entered rank 8, it already had the strength of a peak rank 8. However, it was still a long way from rank 9. Demons advancing to rank 9, although there was also the origin path, but for the demons, it was not too difficult. At least the Jiao thought it was not difficult. Origin path or not, it just wanted to become stronger. This was its path. The path was clear. If there was a path, walk the path. If there was no path, open the path. How simple. The Jiao ignored the galloping goat. Its big eyes swept across the boundary wall, not far away. This thing was very difficult to break. It attacked a few times and was almost killed by the recoil. I can't just stay here and wait for every tide of life to erupt, the Jiao thought to itself. That was what other demons thought, but not it. It was normal for these demons to not reach rank 9 even after hundreds or thousands of years of cultivation. It could not tolerate that. Every time the tide of life erupted, it could improve a little. But if this continued, how long would it take to reach rank 9? 10 years? 100 years? The imperishable substance given by Chef had been used up. Now it could only rely on the energy given by the inner circle. It did not dare to go out. If it did, it would be killed. King Huai was bent on killing it. It did not dare to go out now. Moreover, with the personality of the 100-beast forest demon king, it did not protect it last time. If it went out this time, even the demons of 100-beast forest might come after it. The Jiao stared at the boundary wall for a while. Then it looked at the demons around it. These demons were not considered strong. They were some of its underlings. There was not a single ranked 8. Swallowing them is useless. Should I find a few supremacies and swallow them? The Jiao began to plan again. Swallowing supremacies was still useful. Absorbing and digesting their golden bodies, swallowing their demon cores, swallowing imperishable substances, this was also a way to improve. But it was very dangerous. There were many demons here, and there were also many rank 9 demon kings here. These two outsiders were able to stand firm here, thanks to its strong interpersonal skills. If it was discovered that it was devouring some demons now, it would be troublesome. The demons could not devour, the boundary wall could not be opened, and the bounded domain did not dare to come out. At this moment, the Jiao was very frustrated. The sheep beast beside it was still chattering. Listening to it, the Jiao wanted to bite it to death. But after thinking about it, it only had one brother. Forget it. It would be one less helper even if it was bitten to death. It would just bear with it. I miss the old days. At this moment, the Jiao missed the days when it planted trees in the Jiao forest. At least it had something to look forward to. It knew that there was hope to seize monster with city's giant mine. But now, there was no hope at all. It did not even have energy to cultivate normally. There were so many rank 9 demon kings in this small place. It made it even more uncomfortable. Why don't these demon kings fight among themselves? If they fight and a few die, I'll take the opportunity to devour them and advance to the demon king realm. As the Jiao thought about this, its big eyes revealed a look of deep thought. Maybe it was time to think of a way to trick these demon kings into fighting. These demons were more stupid. Maybe they were easier to trick. Trick them into fighting and take the opportunity to reap some benefits? The Jiao thought for a while and growled at the sheep beast. Go check out the situation. Stop nagging me all the time. It's very annoying. After sending the sheep beast away, the Jiao continued to lie down. It began to think of a way to create an opportunity for these demon kings to fight among themselves. Kill their subordinates and create conflict. But this place is so small it's hard to hide. Even if their subordinates die, they might not fight. It's a pity. The imperishable substance that Chef gave me last time has been used up. Otherwise, I could throw some out and find an opportunity to make them fight over the imperishable substance. I heard that Chef's side was defeated. I'm afraid he's on the run like me. The Jiao was quite well informed. Across the Forbidden Sea was the 10,000 Ants Desert. Although that giant ant was killed, it still had descendants. Among its descendants, there were demons who communicated with the Jiao. These days, the Jiao would sometimes go to the Forbidden Sea tributary to exchange information with the demons there. It mainly wanted to know if King Huai was still chasing after it. Unfortunately, the status of these demons was too low. They did not know the whereabouts of the true king. However, the resurrected martial artist had been defeated. That was something the Jiao knew. It heard that Hope City had been destroyed. It looked like there was no hope for Chef to come here again. The Jiao even knew a big piece of news. Chef was wanted by the entire region. This was big news. Back then, the true king had ordered all regions to kill Fong Ping. It knew who Fong Ping was. I wonder if I kill Chef and hand him over to King Huai, will he stop chasing after me? Chef can be exchanged for a lot of things. Who would have thought that a chef who was so weak back then would be wanted by the entire region now? At this time, the Jiao recalled the situation when it first met Fong Ping. A level 3 martial artist. At that time, it could have killed him with a single breath. It was just too lazy to kill him. It never did anything that would make a loss. There was no point in killing him. It was more satisfying to let him feed it. In the end, as it fed him, the other party actually had an endless supply of vitality. That was the main reason it did not kill him. Now that it thought about it, it did not know whether it was good or bad. Its escape from the realm had something to do with Chef. He promised it the mine of life, but he did not get it. It was a big loss. And 2 of its brothers died. If I have the chance to meet Chef again, I will never trust him again. I will swallow him in one bite. The Jiao's heart was suddenly filled with hatred. This guy had caused it so much trouble. Unless Chef returns his mind to me, otherwise I will bite him to death. As it was thinking, the Jiao's big nose suddenly twitched. It had a bad feeling. Did I sense it wrong? Why would it smell such a familiar smell at this time? This was the domain of a domain. Even the true king did not dare to trespass. King Huai's subordinates had god generals who wanted to kill it, but it had sensed it in advance, so it had complained to the demon race, saying that these people had come to seize territory and had almost killed the other party's god generals. Only then did they not dare to come again. Why would Chef come here? Besides, the revived martial artist was defeated and left the 7 southern regions. How could that be possible? The Jiao wanted to ignore it, but the smell was getting stronger and stronger. This smell, it could not forget it. It was sweet and fragrant, especially delicious. Even if it could not sense the specific location, it had a feeling that only Chef had this taste. It had eaten it many times. Its big nose twitched again. It looked around. The little demons did not seem to notice. The Jiao was a little suspicious. It turned on the spot, its big head facing the outside. I really smelled it. In the next moment, the Jiao's eyes widened. What did I see? What did I see? Chef is here. Not far away, Fong Ping smiled, waving at the big dog. No, at the Jiao. Big brother is still alive. It is not easy. I went through so much trouble just to find you. One day of not seeing the Jiao felt like 3 years. It had been a few months he had not seen the Jiao. He was starting to miss it. This was the demon beast he knew the earliest. He knew it when he was rank 3, and it was rank 8 now. He was rank 8, it was also rank 8. It was not easy. Fong Ping waved for a while, then shushed it. A small ball of golden, imperishable substance appeared in his hand. Then he turned and walked into the forest. Let's talk in private. There are indeed many demons here. He had to be careful. In other realms, there were almost no rank 9 demon beasts, but there were many rank 8. But here, Fong Ping sensed that there were 4 rank 9 demon beasts. He had to be careful. As expected, the demons here were stronger than the rest. Fong Ping turned and entered the forest. The Jiao looked left and right, its eyes still wide. In the next moment, the Jiao stood up slowly. Chef really came? Was he going to be rich? Should he bite him to death later? Or wait and let him think of a way to kill those demon kings before biting him to death? What a dilemma! Right, Chef had been to the realm before. Could he enter the inner area? Should he plot against those demon kings first, kill them, then enter the inner area and bite Chef to death? The Jiao thought about many things. But no matter what, it was going to be rich this time. Shaking its butt, the Jiao looked around again. Seeing that there were no demons paying attention, it walked into the forest leisurely. What a surprise! Coincidentally, it was hungry. It would ask Chef for something to eat first. Maybe I should keep Chef as a pet. The Jiao suddenly thought of this problem. There was nothing to eat here, and it had to wait every month. It might as well keep Chef and let him make food for it every day. Chapter 797. In the small forest, Fong Ping looked around. Magic City's bounded domain was slightly different from other places. Tianan's bounded domain was surrounded by deserted ancient cities. Shishan's bounded domain was surrounded by mountains and wastelands. Magic City's side was extremely flat. There were no ancient cities, but there seemed to be many underground layers. This was not found in other bounded domains. In the other domains, the underground was sealed, and the demon race was rather fearful of the surface. Even if they rested, they would do so on the surface. But here, Fong Ping saw some underground caverns that looked like beehives. There were demons living inside. This place is more suitable for demons to live. No wonder the demons here are stronger than other places. As Fong Ping was thinking, the corner of his mouth twitched. Jiao was here. Outside the forest, Jiao held its head high. Its large, cold eyes swept across Fong Ping coldly, as if to say, "How dare you come?" Seeing Jiao's attitude, Fong Ping smiled and waved lightly. "King Jiao come?" He looked like he was feeding a big dog, but Jiao probably had not seen it before. Fong Ping did not care. In the past, he was afraid to see Jiao because he was not as strong as this demon beast. He was worried that it would eat him. But now, if Jiao dared to attack, Fong Ping could beat it until its parents could not recognize it. Rank 8-7 stage, and in this energy-sealed area, Fong Ping could beat a rank 9 demon beast to a pulp, let alone a rank 8 demon beast. Even Origin's Path demons were almost the same. Origin's Path amplified power, but that was also built in areas with energy. Without energy, Origin's Path powerhouses could only use their own stored energy. They were slightly stronger than the average rank 9, but there was a limit. In the bounded domain, unless it was in the inner area, there was not much difference between Origin's Path powerhouses and weak rank 9 powerhouses. Here, the demons actually had the advantage. Demons were physically strong, huge, and had stored a lot of energy. That was why the bounded domain's outer area was usually the demon's world. But when they met Fong Ping, these demons had to kneel. Jiao was a little dissatisfied with Fong Ping's attitude. Chef saw it, but there was no fear or trepidation, nor was he as humble as before. This made Jiao a little unhappy. Most importantly, the other party did not apologize to it. Last time, he was almost killed by King Huai. Thinking of this, the sly growled, his face cold and his voice cold. Seeing this, Fong Ping laughed. "King Jiao, you and I can actually communicate through mentality." Roar. The Jiao's face was filled with rage. "I won't use my spiritual energy to communicate. What can you do?" Fong Ping's heart was filled with disdain. He now had a rough idea that the Jiao might be mentally handicapped and might not be able to communicate through mentality. When demons reached rank 7, they could already communicate with mentality. Once he reached the true king realm, he could even form a human incarnation like Tianyu. If the celestial elm was a demon plant, then a demon beast expert would actually be easier to deal with than a demon plant. Upon reaching the true king realm, the demonic beasts would possess incredible control over their physical bodies. In fact, they would even be able to take on the appearance of a human. Of course, some of the characteristics of the demonic beasts might be carried along with them, such as turning into a dog-headed man. If Fong Ping could change his physical form, so could the demons. If a true monarch realm demonic beast transformed, it might have a gigantic demonic race head and become something like a beast man. As for the Jiao that did not know how to communicate through mentality, Fong Ping might despise it, but he did not care. The Jiao was furious. Fong Ping was all smiles. "King Jiao, you know what happened last time. Everything was an accident. I did not expect King Huai to enter the outskirts. King Jiao, you saw the situation then. Even my elder ancestor could not stop it, unless a true King Jiao fight to the death." Roar! Mineral veins? Fong Ping gave it a look. "Damn you, you still remember the mineral veins? You have a good memory." Fong Ping coughed softly. "My elder ancestor took away the mineral veins last time. Many people participated in the battle last time, so it was divided up after the battle. At this moment, the Jiao was furious. Chef had divided his mineral veins. Roar! The Jiao was greedy. It almost died. This debt could be put aside for now, but it had to return its mineral veins. In its anger, the Jiao remembered that Chef did not even feed it this time. This was too much of a bully. It had to teach him a lesson. Roar! In a fit of rage, the Jiao rammed its golden horn at Fong Ping. Chef's current attitude made it very unhappy. It decided to teach him a lesson, to let him understand that the Golden Horn King would always be the Golden Horn King. So what if Chef had a true king ancestor? It was still being hunted by a true king. Would a true king dare to come here? King Jiao, why are you so angry? It's just a half-broken mineral veins. Fong Ping looked at it as if it was ignorant, which made the Jiao even angrier. Its golden horn glinted coldly, and it rammed rapidly at Fong Ping's chest. Ramming the chest meant that it did not want to kill him. Ramming the head meant that it wanted to kill him. Fong Ping saw this and sighed. The Jiao had become irritable. It used to be easy to talk to, but now it wanted to teach him a lesson. Was it trying to take him down a notch? What was the point? Fong Ping did not waste any more words. He reached out and grabbed its golden horn. Still smiling, he said, King Jiao, why are you so irritable? You and I have worked together many times. Other than the last time, when has the king ever suffered a loss? The Jiao ignored him and continued ramming. After struggling for a while, the Jiao's eyes widened. What was going on? Its golden horn had been grabbed, and it was hurting. It was a peak venerable demon beast. It had fought with a demon king before. The Jiao was stunned. Was it not full? Or did it use too little strength? Also, Chef dared to resist. How dare he? The Jiao was even angrier. Intense energy waves erupted from its golden horn. Chef dared to resist. It was still erupting. Fong Ping was also secretly releasing destructive energy. He looked relaxed, but in reality, it was a struggle. He gripped the Jiao's golden horn tightly and destroyed its energy outburst. King, this place has energy restrictions. Why waste energy, King? Fong Ping was still talking cheerfully. He chuckled. Also, King Jiao might not know this, but a few days ago, I went to the restricted area and gained something. I bathed in imperishable substances, rinsed my mouth with life essence, ate the true king's holy fruit, and ate the rank 9 demon plants only fruit. After a while, I unintentionally entered rank 8 7th refinement. Perhaps King Jiao doesn't understand, but I have now entered the weak rank 9, which is the king's realm in the outer domain. King Jiao, you also know that I can recover energy infinitely. In this place where energy is restricted, I can recover energy infinitely. Plus, the elder ancestor gave me countless imperishable substances. Cough, cough. King Jiao shouldn't be able to do anything to me. Fong Ping laughed heartily. The Jiao's eyes were about to turn into gongs. Fong Ping grabbed its golden horn with one hand and stroked its huge head with the other. He caressed it for a moment, sighing in his heart. This big dog's head was too hard. It hurt to touch. What a pity. It was better to keep furry pets. The Jiao didn't have any fur on its body. Its golden armor was hard to touch. He was touching it, and the Jiao could no longer care about this insulting gesture. Chef had entered King's realm. Chef had entered King's realm. Chef had actually entered King's realm. It was stunned. From the way it saw it, it hadn't known Chef for long. Just 2 years. To demons, this little bit of time was nothing. Some demons woke up after sleeping for a few years. In the time it took to sleep, Chef had surpassed it. He had become a king. The Jiao couldn't believe it. It didn't want to believe it. Suddenly, it growled in a low voice. The power of destruction appeared on its golden horn. I haven't even used my strength yet. I don't believe it. King, don't waste imperishable substances. Fong Ping sighed. His entire body was wrapped in imperishable substances. In the next moment, the Jiao entered his golden house. Then a rank 9 Changdao appeared in Fong Ping's hand. A set of rank 8 battle armor appeared on his body. The rank 9 battle boots on his feet shone brightly. The Jiao was already in a daze. Fong Ping sat down on the illusory sofa and smiled. King, it's quieter here. This is my materialized space. Let's talk, don't fight. If we fight, I've just advanced. It wouldn't be good if I accidentally hurt King Jiao. I've said it, a broken mineral vein is nothing. I've been to the imperial city of the restricted area. There are 99 mineral veins stronger than Sky Gate City. I've been to the Lake of Life of the true King Demon plant. It's an energy lake made of its life essence. It's endless. I've been to the Lake of Eternity in the restricted area. It's full of imperishable substances. Until today, to be honest, a tiny broken mineral vein. Fong Ping shook his head, feeling a little lost. It's really nothing. In the past, I thought a few energy stones were something good. Now that I think about it, I was really short-sighted. But at that time, my ability was low. It's normal. When I've reached my current level, I finally understand how laughable it is. It's just a mineral vein, a roadside item. Even if it's thrown on the ground, it might not attract the attention of powerhouses. I actually treated it like a treasure. Laughable. Having said that, a huge mass of imperishable substances appeared in Fong Ping's hand. He lamented again, I've seen so many lakes like this. True King's ultimate arts, rank 9 divine weapons. Even true King's divine weapons. Humans, when their abilities are different, their horizons will be completely different. King from the outer domain? They're just rank 9. In the restricted area, I've seen dozens of true King powerhouses. The Jiao had already forgotten about attacking Fong Ping. Its face was blank, and its mouth was almost drooling. Lake of Life? Lake of imperishable substances? 99 gigantic mineral veins of life? True King's ultimate arts, true King's divine weapons? Chef ate the holy fruit of a true King's demon plant as a meal? Directly ate it to King Realm? In just a few years, the other party became a King Realm, achieved the level that it had always dreamed of? At this moment, the Jiao suddenly felt a little inferior. The next moment, Fong Ping threw out a mass of imperishable substances, smiling faintly. King, if you only care about a few energy stones, no problem. I didn't bring them this time. I'll come again next time. It's just a few tens of thousands of caddies of energy stones. I'll give them to you. But if the king is so short-sighted, I'm afraid I'll have to underestimate the king. Even if the king swallowed the mineral vein and became a weak rank 9, so what? Nowadays, rank 9 is worthless. I just went to the restricted area and killed dozens of rank 19. In the restricted area, the rank 9 demons are just doing odd jobs. Rank 9 demons like the king can be seen everywhere in the restricted area. Who dares to call themselves a king? Even the gatekeepers are rank 9. When I got to the restricted area, I finally understood why so many demons came to the Outland. There's no choice. Rank 9 demons are worthless in the restricted area. They can be found everywhere. What's the point of staying there? Fong Ping sighed. Sky Plant Royal Court's true King Tianyu. Sky Fate Royal Court's true King Xianlong. These true king-level demons only have status in the restricted area. In their eyes, mineral veins are just a joke. If you throw it in front of them, they won't even bother to look at it. True King Tianyu sleeps at the source of 99 mineral veins. He doesn't even bother to dig. That's a demon's life. Fong Ping saw that the Jiao seemed to be lost in its fantasy. He chuckled. There's no need to go through so much trouble. You still have to dig it yourself. There's a large number of rank 9 servants for you to use. They eat life essence every meal and drink life essence every day. That's the peak of demons. King, this time I came here, on one hand, to see you. On the other hand, I feel bad about what happened last time. I want to give the king some compensation. But I didn't expect the king to attack me the moment we met. Before I finished speaking, he started asking for some energy stones that I didn't like and threw to my subordinates. Fong Ping shook his head. The Jiao was too narrow-minded. Energy stones. Do I care about these things? You actually attacked me for some stones. That's it. With such a narrow vision, how can you achieve great things? The Jiao's gaze was no longer dazed. It regained clarity. It looked at Fong Ping, widening its eyes as if it wanted to ask something. It seemed to be struggling about something. Attacking Chef. Forget it. I don't think I'm a match for him. The Mine of Life. Was it a little embarrassing to talk about that broken Mine of Life now? The king was the king of a clan. Chef threw it to his subordinates like it was trash. Was it a little embarrassing for the Jiao to ask for it now? No. No, it couldn't bear to. Without the Mind of Life, how could it advance to rank 9? The Jiao was conflicted. It struggled, but it did not delay. It swallowed the imperishable substance that Fong Ping threw at it, satisfied. Fong Ping did not give it a chance to roar. He smiled. This time, I came to the bounded domain to prepare for something big. Once this is done, I may officially enter the original Dao realm. The impasse realm is not far from me. Within a year or two, I'm afraid I'll reach the pinnacle. At that time, if the pinnacle doesn't enter the outer realms, I might not have the chance to meet the Jiao King again. Of course, at that time, the Great King can leave the domain. I will become the absolute peak, and King Huai will definitely be killed. If he was killed, who would pursue the Jiao King? A mere weak absolute peak. An existence at the bottom of the desperate despair realm dares to strut around. A few days ago, my family's old ancestor killed the mysterious Jade True Monarch, a powerful desperate despair realm expert. I seized the opponent's ultimate technique and gave it to my subordinate, the Snake King. Did the Jiao King know the Snake King? The level 9 who teamed up with you last time will probably advance to the Paragon stage this time. It's a pity that the mysterious Jade True King's Dao of origin is also weak. Now I'm advising him not to advance to the Paragon stage. Let's wait until he kills a powerful True King and snatches his Dao of origin. Roar, the Jiao called out in a low voice, sounding a little weak. The Snake King was also about to reach the apex. Chef's subordinates were all about to become True Kings. This was simply too demoralizing. In New Wu Quishan, it had seen him many times. Although the other party was slightly stronger than it, there was a limit to his strength. It had only been a few days, and the other party had become a true king. King Huai had become an existence, not even worth mentioning. The Jiao was already stunned. At this moment, its mind was a little chaotic. Should the king say something? But what should it say? Also, what was the important matter that Chef mentioned? Could it reap some benefits? The king wanted to achieve rank 9. At this moment, Fong Ping had already put away the House of Gold and appeared on the same spot again. Looking at the domain zone, he murmured, "This time, I want to seize the entire 7 southern regions, including the domain zone, and turn this place into MCMEU's backyard. I have already contacted many absolute peak powerhouses. Everything is ready. Only the last step is left. This time, there is another purpose for coming here, to investigate the situation here. MCMEU is about to attack the domain zone. King Jiao. After this, there is probably no way for the Demon Clan to survive here. You can either go to Imperial Sea Mountain or the Forbidden Sea. However, there are many ranked 9 in these places. You are proud and arrogant. I am also worried that you will clash with them. In the future, when it is time to lower your head, you still have to lower your head." Fong Ping said this with some sadness. He said softly, "After seizing the 7 southern regions, humans will not allow the Demon Clan to continue living here. You and 100 Beast Forest are not on good terms. When that time comes, life will be difficult." The Jiao was stunned again. Seizing the 7 southern regions? Chef wanted to unify the 7 southern regions and become the real king of a region, including the domain zone. What should I do in the future? Imperial Sea Mountain? The Forbidden Sea? There were many rank 9 in these places. If I go there, won't I have to live a more difficult life? Roar, the Jiao growled again, somewhat at a loss. What should I do? Where should I go? Fong Ping sighed softly. If you become my mount, forget it. My elder ancestor will not agree. The Demon Clan cannot be trusted. Not only that, your ability is too weak. You can't keep up with my speed at all. I am about to achieve the peak. After all, the king is only a rank 8. The gap is too big. If I say that I will take you as my mount, my elder ancestor will not believe me. Moreover, the Demon Clan also hurts people. They have fought with humans before. We have a grudge. Of course, King Jiao and I have worked together many times. I can trust him, but not the others." At first, the Jiao's expression changed when it heard the word mount. However, When it heard that it was not even qualified to be a mount, the Jiao was suddenly at a loss. I don't even have the right to be a mount? Humans are not that powerful. No, Chef's family is very powerful. His elder ancestor is a true king. His subordinate has become a true king. Chef is also going to become a true king. While it was still thinking, Fong Ping sighed again. How can a true king's mount be a rank 8? And a rank 8 who might cause trouble? Not long after, the longevity sword will also become a peak. These people are more hostile to the demon clan. They think that it is best to forge a divine weapon. This time, when I came here, they wanted me to take a closer look to see if there are many demons here and how many divine weapons can be forged. I thought that since King Jiao is here, I should come and take a look. Otherwise, if I am not careful and they come in directly and accidentally hurt the king, if it becomes a divine weapon in the blink of an eye, then I will really let the king down. Roar! The Jiao was a little annoyed. It did not want to become a divine weapon. It was not easy for it to gain a foothold in the bounded domain. How could it become a divine weapon now? If Chef did not come this time, would it not be killed by mistake? At this moment, the Jiao was really a little confused. What should it do? Fong Ping, however, ignored it. He scanned the area again and murmured, "There are many demons here. I saw 4 rank 9 demons, maybe more. More than 20 rank 8 demons. If it was used to forge a divine weapon, it would be a considerable sum. As for King Jiao, take this opportunity or leave in a few days. I will let the king go. There is still a long way to go. I hope that one day I can see the king reach the peak. Only then will we have a chance to meet again." Roar! The Jiao shook its head, looking a little sad. It was also at a loss about the future. Where am I going? I was born and raised in the 7 southern regions. I have never left the 7 southern regions in my life. Now the 7 southern regions were going to become Chef's backyard. The world was big, but there was no place for it. If it went to the Forbidden Sea and Mount Imperial Sea, it would be fine if it was easy to communicate with an outsider. If the local demon king was not easy to communicate with, wouldn't it kill it on a whim? The Jiao sat down. At this moment, the abandoned puppy suddenly looked at Fong Ping, its face full of expectation. Did Chef have a way? The 7 southern regions had become Chef's home. Couldn't it stay in his home? It had helped Chef before. Fong Ping did not seem to have thought of this. He had already started to plan a way out for it. He said in a low voice, "When we take down the 7 southern regions and conquer the bounded domain, I will think of a way to send the king to the Forbidden Zone. In the Forbidden Zone, although rank 8 demon beasts are only carriages and mounts, at least they can live. I have seen many dragon beasts in the Forbidden Zone. There are also rank 8 demon beasts. They are public mounts, pay some energy stones, and you can ride them at will. As long as you don't cause trouble, you can get dozens of energy stones in a year. The energy in the Forbidden Zone is abundant. After 100 years, the king may be able to achieve rank 9 and not be considered an existence that does odd jobs. But remember, the king, when you are being ridden by others, you must be careful. Some descendants of the true king are hard to serve. They will kill demons at the slightest disagreement. Previously, I rode dragon beasts with the Maple King's descendants and killed 7 or 8 of them along the way. Dragon beast's meat is really disgusting. I'm sick of it." The Jiao imagined going to the Forbidden Zone in the future and being ridden by others. It would tire itself out every day. In the end, it would be killed and eaten at the slightest disagreement. No, this is not the king's future. The king does not want this. To actually pull a carriage, to become a public mount, demon no. The Jiao was terrified. The leisure it had before was no more. The thought of getting even with Fong Ping earlier also disappeared instantly. I want to live well. As for Fong Ping lying to it, Chef already had the strength of a king. It could not help but believe him. Also, this time, Chef came to the bounded domain. He was probably really to scout for information. This fellow was counting the number of demons and preparing to forge divine weapons. It was scared. The Jiao's big eyes revealed fear and confusion. Fong Ping glanced at it from the corner of his eye. He sighed in his heart again. Demons were so easy to fool. Although the big dog thought of itself as very smart, the smarter it was, the easier it was to fool. Are you dumbfounded now? You're not begging me to take you as a mount and at the same time make some contributions for the upcoming battle. Without proof of allegiance, I will not take in a weakling like you. P.S. Sorry for the delay in the next chapter. 9 Heavens, Divine Emperor. Chapter 798. Fong Ping waited for Jiao to speak. He had always thought that Jiao had some intelligence. But now, Jiao was confused, looking at Fong Ping blankly. Fong Ping was helpless. Do you really want me to say it out loud? Isn't it good that everyone has a tacit understanding? Looking at your expression now, I seriously suspect that you have no idea what to do next. Fong Ping pondered for a moment, then said slowly, Also, I came to the bounded zone this time with the intention of cleaning up the demons in the bounded zone, to prevent them from causing trouble at the crucial moment. Although we have the absolute advantage in attacking the 7 southern regions and the bounded zone, we cannot be careless. King Jiao, if you want to leave, I think you should think of a way out now. Otherwise, if I clean up the demons now, it may attract the attention of the true kings in the bounded zone. Although I'm not afraid, and they won't dare to kill me, King Jiao will be in danger. In this world, no matter if you are a human or a demon, you can't do anything without a backer. I have a few true kings protecting me. Even the old antiques in the bounded zone won't dare to do anything to me. There are many true kings who want to kill me in the restricted zone, but there are still dozens of them. When I went to the restricted zone, dozens of true kings wanted to kill me. In the end, my elder ancestor contacted a few old friends and almost killed those true kings. They were so scared that they no longer dared to mention killing me. But it's difficult without a backer. Fong Ping sighed. If King Jiao has a way, I think it's better to find a force with a backer. At the very least, there must be a true king holding the fort. Without a true king, there's no backing. Right now, the most suitable force for King Jiao to rely on is the myriad demon royal court, but it's very chaotic there. Not long ago, dozens of true kings' descendants died. Guarding the royal court is also troublesome. They don't like to take in foreign demons. Destiny Royal Court is fine as a bus, but they like to raise demons and eat their meat. Heavenly Plants Royal Court, forget it. They have a good relationship with demon plants, but they politely decline monsters. No matter how I think about it, maybe only the Forbidden Sea is suitable for King Jiao. But there are countless rank 9 monsters in the Forbidden Sea. They might not be interested in rank 8 demons. King Jiao probably knows this. Jiao nodded its huge head. Of course I know. Over at the Forbidden Sea, there were many demons under the water, and there were also many rank 9s. Moreover, even though it didn't matter whether it was underwater or not at its current realm, it still wasn't used to living underwater. It didn't want to live underwater. No matter how big the world is there no place for this king? Seeing that it was still confused, Fong Ping cursed in his heart, Stupid dog. I've already made it very clear that none of these forces are suitable for you. Furthermore, they all have the backing of a true monarch, as well as the people you're on good terms with. Apart from me, do you have any other choices? Why can't you understand? What about his IQ? Fong Ping waited for a moment. When there was no response, he smiled faintly again and said, Let's not talk about this for now. King Jiao has been in the bounded boundaries for some time now. Why don't you tell me about the situation here? This time, I came here with the intention of testing my skills. I'll kill some rank 9 beasts and bring them back to forge divine weapons. It's not a waste. Of course, I only need the brain core and the heart core. King Jiao, you can eat the demon's flesh as you please. Hurry up and advance to the 9th level. A rank 8 monster is really not enough now. The Jiao's eyes widened. Killing demonic beasts to forge divine weapons? The chef wanted to kill king-level monsters? Fong Ping laughed. Don't worry, King Jiao. What's the relationship between you and me? Killing demons is because they're blocking my way. I'm determined to conquer the 7 southern territories. These demons may become an obstacle. If they're really willing to follow my orders, I'm not willing to slaughter them wantonly. But not all demons are as friendly to humans as you are, King Jiao. Some demons are stubborn. For the sake of great things, they must be killed. Roar! At that moment, the Jiao seemed to have thought of something and suddenly growled. Fong Ping listened attentively. Slightly puzzled, he asked, King Jiao, are you saying that you're friendly to humans? Won't that spoil your plans? Don't worry, King Jiao. Fong Ping will not attack you. Roar! I can't kill them? Fong Ping laughed again. It's fine. I have the Elder Ancestor's avatar. In fact, I don't even need it. I can kill them all by myself. Just watch, King Jiao. The Jiao suddenly did not know what to say. After struggling for a while, it roared again, this time with some hesitation. King Jiao, you mean? Fong Ping thought for a while before saying, you can convince these demons so that they won't attack humans? Fong Ping asked curiously, King Jiao, why are you pleading for these demons? Fong Ping was a little puzzled. This Jiao was quite selfish. Why was it pleading for other demons now? This was beyond his expectations. The Jiao roared a few more times. It was not pleading for mercy. It was just testing Fong Ping to see if he would agree. If he agreed, that would mean they could still coexist peacefully. Besides, if he could let go of those demons that he was not familiar with, what about this demon that was very familiar with Chef? Fong Ping frowned for a while and said slowly, demons are wild and hard to tame. Humans don't have the extra energy to suppress them. If they don't kill them, they might cause trouble. I've said it before. Not every demon is as intelligent as you, King Jiao, unless they have an intelligent leader who can suppress them. And their leader is highly intelligent and trustworthy. But how is that possible? Up until today, I've only seen a demon like this, King Jiao. Fong Ping took advantage of the situation and said with some regret, it's a pity that King Jiao isn't the leader here, and his strength is slightly weaker. Otherwise, the demons here could really become humans' ally. Once King Jiao rules this place, he will have a foothold. He can lead several rank 9 demons and hundreds of high-rank demons. Such a force is not small. It would be a pity to kill them, but it's a good choice to fight alongside humans. It's a pity that King Jiao can't command these demons. I can trust King Jiao, but not the other demons. Fong Ping's expression turned cold. He said coldly, in the catacombs, the only demon that I can trust is King Jiao. You and I have known each other for many years. When I was still weak, King Jiao was already familiar with me and helped me many times. I can trust him. As for the other demons, using a saying from humans, those who are not of our race must have different intentions. As soon as he said this, the Jiao's big head suddenly moved. The demons that rule the bounded domain, make themselves king, seek refuge with the land of rebirth, and become a forbidden land in the 7 southern regions? At that moment, the Jiao suddenly had a feeling of realization. Yes, I don't have to escape from the 7 southern regions. I can become the king of this place, lead a group of demons, seek refuge with humans, and become allies with them. Just like the relationship between the catacombs humans and the forbidden lands in the 7 southern regions today. Mutual non-aggression. This way, wouldn't it not have to run? And it might even take the opportunity to become the leader of the 7 southern regions' demons. The only king. At that moment, the Jiao felt that its wisdom was unparalleled. I can't do it myself, but I can make use of Chef's power to fulfill my dream. A long time ago, it had wanted to become its own king, free from the restrictions of the Forbidden Lands. But it did not have the ability, nor the opportunity. Now the opportunity seemed to have come. Whether it became an ally with humans or the catacombs humans, it did not care at all. Its own interests were the most important. Cooperate with Chef? I will become the true king of the demons? The Jiao looked at Fong Ping with its big eyes. Suddenly, it found it difficult to speak. This was not easy to say. Chef obviously wanted to kill the demons to refine a divine weapon. Now it wanted Chef to let them go, wanted them to form their own force, and wanted him to help it, a venerable demon, become a demon king. This was very troublesome. It had even attacked Chef before. Would Chef agree? The Jiao struggled for a while, but still felt that it could not escape. It opened its mouth and roared. This time, its roar was a little hesitant. Fong Ping was also a little confused. After a while, he smiled and said, King Jiao, take your time. There's no rush. Take your time. Roar, roar, roar. You mean you can convince some of the demons, but not all of them to cooperate with humans? You want me to kill some of the demons to establish your authority? What? You want to become the king of the demons? Fong Ping frowned. That won't do. The human's apex means that other than the human forces in the 7 southern regions, no one will be left alive. This is difficult for me too. After all, my family is not the only one with an apex. The other apex might not agree. Moreover, King Jiao is only rank 8. As Fong Ping spoke, the Jiao became even more anxious. It continued to roar. You want me to help you achieve rank 9? Fong Ping rubbed his chin and said awkwardly, I really don't know how demons can achieve rank 9. Just devouring energy stones? Even if energy stones are not worth mentioning to me, I'm not the eldest in the family. There's still the true king patriarch. There's no reason for me to let you consume large amounts of energy stones for no reason. Seeing that the Jiao still wanted to roar, Fong Ping smiled. King, don't talk about the mineral veins. You also know that when it's in the hands of the true king, it belongs to the true king. I don't want to say this. King, you should understand the principle of the law of the jungle. If you had not been chased by King Huai that day and escaped to the bounded domain, then you should have taken the mineral veins with you. But later, it was my patriarch who took it from King Huai. King, if you say it's yours now, you must not say it. Otherwise, if the true king is displeased, I won't be able to say anything. The Jiao nodded hurriedly. Yes, what Chef said made sense. The true king had taken it. If it said it, it would be very dangerous to anger the true king. But it wanted to achieve rank 9, to become a demon king, to establish itself in the 7 southern regions. What could it do? The Jiao looked at Fong Ping pleadingly. Chef, please help me. Fong Ping understood what it meant. With a conflicted expression, he gritted his teeth and said, Fine, I'm friends with the king. I feel sorry for the last time. How can I not help you with this? But there are some things that I can't decide alone. King, you should understand, there are dozens of true kings. I can convince some, but not all. Unless I have a reason. Fong Ping's eyes flickered. He said quickly, There's a saying among humans, where heroes come from, although the king is a demon and not one of us. Once you make a great contribution to humanity, everything will not be a problem. I need a reason, an excuse, to speak up for the king. Next, a great war will break out in the 7 southern regions. At this moment, Fong Ping's true intentions were revealed. With a serious expression, he said, If the king can lead some demons, do some things, make some contributions, then it's not impossible for the king to become the only demon king in the 7 southern regions. The other demons, I won't give them a chance. Only the king, I can speak up for the king. I still have some face. Plus, the king helped MCMEU defeat Skygate City last time. That's an even greater contribution. Now, with me helping the king, there won't be a problem. Of course, there are pros and cons to this, Your Majesty. Fong Ping said calmly. In this way, the Great King and the restricted area True King will completely fall out. He will definitely hate the Great King to the core. But this time, I guarantee that if another monarch dares to enter the realm to kill the Great King, I and the human monarch will definitely join the battle. I swear in the name of the human True King that this time, unless the humans are defeated, the Catacombs' True King will not enter the outer domain. This is an iron law. Let's see if His Majesty dares to gamble. Fong Ping regained his composure. He said mildly, You can think about it, King. I need to think about it too. After all, King might not be able to do this. I think it's best to send King to another domain. I said this last time, and it will work this time as well. I can't keep the Great King in the 7 southern regions. If the Great King is willing, I can send the Great King to another region. But if we go somewhere else, the king is still living under the demon fence. Perhaps this is really an opportunity. Roar! The Jiao was very impatient. It wiggled its butt for a while. It actually had another choice. Go to another domain? Or become the demon king of the 7 southern regions? It wanted to make a contribution, but how? Was it really a good idea to completely fall out with the Forbidden Zone true king? The Jiao began to struggle. It had only wanted to survive, but now Chef had given it so many choices. He had even arranged an escape route. It could go to another domain. Chef could do what he promised last time. But was it just to survive? To become the only demon king of the 7 southern regions. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Previously, it had only said that subconsciously. It did not expect Chef to arrange it so clearly. Dilemma. After struggling for a while, the Jiao suddenly roared. I agree. Fong Ping was slightly stunned. You're not mute? He had heard a voice in his mind just now. It was a mentality transmission. The Jiao was probably anxious and roared directly, but it was so *king immature. Fong Ping was a little dazed. He even wanted to laugh. The Jiao was not still a child, was it? This fellow's voice transmission was a little too immature. How old was the Jiao this year? It should be 100 years old, right? Could it be that a 100-years-old demon was really a child? The Jiao had only just reacted. Suddenly, its embarrassment turned into anger. It glared at Fong Ping and continued to roar. This time it did not use voice transmission. It was a King Jiao. If it could not use voice transmission, it would be easy to be laughed at by demons. It could only roar. That was beast language. Chef did not understand it because he was ignorant. Fong Ping did not laugh at it. It was not a mute. He was thinking too much. Hearing the Jiao's words, Fong Ping smiled and said, King Jiao, don't you want to think about it? If you agree, you will have to make a great contribution. You will also have to control the demons. If the demons under your command do not obey you, it will eventually lead to trouble. That will be trouble for the king. This is not simple. To be a demon king, you need strength and prestige. The king may not be able to control the other demons. Roar, roar, roar. You mean to kill the chicken to warn the monkeys? Fong Ping smiled. The king wants me to kill some disobedient demons and leave the rest to you? Roar! The king wants to swallow some demons and advance to rank 9 before commanding the demons? Roar! That's not impossible. Fong Ping paused and said, but there are some things that Fong Ping needs to make clear first. If the king is not willing to do it, then helping the king to advance to rank 9 is also possible. Fong Ping will not make any other requests. But if the king wants to be the demon king and advances to rank 9 and has other thoughts, Fong Ping does not care, but the peak of humanity will. When that happens, the king will be in trouble. The Jiao nodded hurriedly. It understood this point. Then the Jiao roared a few more times. It was hesitant. If it was too dangerous, it did not want to do it. Fong Ping smiled. Actually, it's simple. In a head-on battle, the king doesn't need to do it. MCMU alone is enough to destroy the 7 southern regions. I'm just finding an excuse for the king. How about this? Fong Ping seemed to be thinking. After a while, he said, the king will do something else. Lead the demons to attack the cities without rank 9 guards. Seizing the mineral veins is a show of allegiance. Seizing the catacombs' mineral veins is a real fallout. Humans do not need a demon king who has an ambiguous relationship with the catacombs. If the king is willing, then do it. If not, then forget about it. As for seizing the mineral veins, there are still 12 mineral veins in the 7 southern regions now. If the king seizes all of them, then 8 of them will be moved to the boundaries for the demons to cultivate. 4 of them will be given to me. I will take them back to report. If the king agrees, then do it. If not, then forget about it. One more thing. We will be responsible for killing the other party's rank 9. If the king wants to take the biggest share, you will also have to be responsible for their rank 7 and 8 martial artists. Of course, it's not all up to the king. I will also help when the time is right. I have to make all these clear, lest the king says that I did not make myself clear when the time comes. Fong Ping sighed. After what happened last time, the current me does not dare to make any promises. Also, I have to make something clear in advance. In the final distribution of the mineral veins, the king should seize more. The peak of humanity might be dissatisfied and want half. This is also possible. I have made all these clear. Whatever the king chooses, it is up to you. Fong Ping looked sincere, as if he was speaking from the bottom of his heart. I am thinking for you. I have made everything clear to you. If you want to do it, then do it. If you don't, I will kill you and turn you into a divine weapon later. Damn you. Spit out all the things you have eaten from me. Do you really think it is that easy to take my things? As for helping the Jiao advance to rank 9, Fong Ping felt that if he could devour monsters, he could try. He did not have to spend extra money. As a rank 9 Jiao, it could do even better. Moreover, it had just entered rank 9. The Jiao could not do much. The Jiao was silent for a while. Suddenly, it roared again. Fong Ping smiled. Are you asking about the 10,000 ants desert and the 100 beast forest? Fong Ping chuckled. These 2 forbidden lands will be relocated this time too. Even if they don't move, they will have to rely on the King Jiao. Otherwise, we will destroy them at the right time. Of course, in order not to alert the enemy, we will wait for a while. If the King Jiao can be subdued, we can give it a try. If it doesn't work, we can kill them and turn them into divine weapons. I'm still having a headache. If the King Jiao takes away a batch of monsters, I will be short of divine weapons. How am I going to explain? This is perfect. They will make up for it. As he spoke, Fong Ping added, Oh right, if the King Jiao wants to be the Demon King, you still need a title. In the name of humanity, when the time comes, the humans may confer a title on the King Jiao, such as MCMU's Guardian Beast or something. Will the King Jiao accept it? The Jiao nodded nonchalantly. This is up to you. I don't care. I only care about practical benefits. Becoming the 7 Southern Territories Demon King and advancing to rank 9 were its dreams. Attacking 12 cities and dealing with the rank 7 and 8 humans did not seem to be too much trouble. Seizing the mineral veins and splitting the profits 50 to 50 made the Jiao uncomfortable. It wanted to keep everything for itself, but it also knew that it was impossible. The humans would not give it everything. Soon, the Jiao made up its mind. It would take a gamble. If it did not, it would have nothing. It would have to leave its home and leave the 7 Southern Territory. It was not willing. If it took a gamble, it might win big. Hence, the Jiao nodded again. It could not wait any longer. Its little brother, Little Goat, was still thinking of being the king of a small territory. It had already started planning with Chef to become the 7 Southern Territories Demon King. Everyone had different perspectives. Sure enough, the things they considered were different. Roar, 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 the Jiao growled in a low voice. It was in high spirits. Since it had made up its mind, it was ready to do something big. Following Chef should not be a problem. Last time, it was also unlucky to have angered King Huai. Otherwise, it might have advanced to rank 9. Since King Jiao has no objections, then let's work together happily. Fong Ping said, extending his hand and smiling. According to human rules, we have to be polite. Come, let's shake hands. The Jiao was a little confused. Seeing Fong Ping's outstretched hand, it thought for a long time, but it still extended its hoof. Fong Ping held back his laughter. Wasn't this just teasing a dog? When teasing a dog, it was also the same gesture when asking a dog to shake hands. Shaking hands with the Jiao's hoof, Fong Ping said seriously, King Jiao, I still have to say one last thing. Since you want to be an ally with the humans, if you don't help now, the humans will have complaints later. If it's like last time, where the king does not give his all, no one is a fool. When the time comes, there will definitely be trouble. Fong Ping can help the king once or twice, but not thrice or 4 times. Before the king becomes a true king, since you've made your choice, then don't hesitate. Otherwise, Fong Ping can't guarantee what will happen to the king. There are so many demons, and many of them are rank 9. Are there no rank 9 demons who want to ally with the humans? Yes. But why did they choose the king? Because of Fong Ping. Fong Ping and the king are friends. This time, if the king makes things difficult for Fong Ping, then the king will completely lose Fong Ping's friendship and the friendship of several true king powerhouses. The Fong family is also a big family. Fong Ping is also an important person. If he is dragged into this by the king, with all due respect, in order to inherit the Fong family business, I might have to give up my friendship with the king. The Jiao thought for a while, then nodded quickly, its face determined. Don't worry, this time I'll do my best. I'm not fighting a rank 9, just some rank 7 and 8. If the rank 9 doesn't come, the true king won't become a true king. I'm not afraid of those fellows. 9 Heavens Divine Emperor. Chapter 799. Having reached an agreement with Jiao, Fong Ping breathed a sigh of relief. Unless Jiao changed its mind halfway, it would be a done deal. As for changing its mind, this fellow still had a true king as an enemy. Moreover, Jiao and the rest were not the deciding factor this time. They were only supplementary. If they really could not take down those cities and take over the mineral veins, it did not matter. However, they had to be on their guard. They had to prevent the demons from causing trouble. Magic City's catacombs had 2 other forbidden areas, 100 Beast Forest and 10,000 Ants Desert. Including the bounded domain, there were 3. In these 3 places, there were probably about 15 rank 9 demons. These demons were in the 7 southern regions. If they joined the war, it would be troublesome. I still have to consider the demons. I have to think about this and be fully prepared. Fong Ping calculated in his heart, subconsciously stroking Jiao's huge head again. Jiao was a little displeased. It wanted to roar, but after some thought, it held back. Forget it. It would not roar. But it was still not satisfied. Touching its head was a little disrespectful. Don't touch it so casually. Roar! The Jiao called out in a low voice. Stop touching me. It's very uncomfortable. Fong Ping looked down at Jiao. This fellow was not small, but it seemed to be able to transform. Fong Ping remembered that it could expand in size when it was fighting. Right now, it was not that tall, about 2 meters. Now that it was squatting on the ground, Fong Ping could still touch its head. Fong Ping felt helpless. You squatted like a dog. I touched it casually, and you were unhappy. I didn't even feel unhappy. Whose dog's head was so hard? It was so irritating. Could this fellow grow some fur? Ignoring it, Fong Ping thought for a while. King Jiao, forget it if I still call you king now. It will seem like we're not close. I'll call you Little Jiao from now on. It will make us seem like we're on the same side. Little Jiao, you just came to the bounded domain. How many demons can you convince? Also, do you know how many demons there are in the bounded domain? The term Little Jiao displeased Jiao. It realized that Chef's words today did not make it feel very happy. But now, it still needed Chef's help. Jiao decided not to argue with Chef. It would hang around with Chef for now. When it reached the true king realm, it could go anywhere in the world. Roar! You said that the demons here are stupid? Roar! 100 high-ranked demons. How many is 100? Perhaps Jiao's mathematics was not up to par. Fong Ping had also noticed this problem. This fellow only knew a bunch, a lot, it couldn't tell the exact number. Fong Ping was speechless. With this level of IQ, you still want to share the spoils with me? At that time, can you count the 12 veins? He thought for a while and said, conjure something. You've seen these demons before, so you should know what they look like. Conjure a rough image. Let me see how many demons there are here. This time, the Jiao understood and quickly began to materialize. Fong Ping looked at them one by one. Very soon, his gaze turned solemn. The bounded domain of Demonic City was not ordinary. There were actually 6 rank 9 demons here. One must know that the domain was indeed very long, but it was also very narrow. 6 rank 9 demons were gathered in a small bounded domain. It was not a small number. There were even more rank 8s. After Jiao materialized for a while, Fong Ping counted 30. There were too many rank 7s. The Jiao could not remember them all. After materializing for a while, it grew impatient. There were about 100 of them, and it was not done. In the end, it decided not to materialize anymore. Anyway, it would be right if there were more than this. After materializing here, the Jiao roared again. Don't worry about rank 7s. Even rank 8s aren't as strong as it. Demons are also particular about the survival of the fittest. If they aren't as strong as it can control them. As for the 6 rank 9 demons, I'm afraid we'll have to kill 1 or 2. After killing 1 or 2, let the Jiao devour them and let it advance to rank 9. It can be on equal footing with those rank 9 demons. With me as its backer, it can negotiate with them. Fang Ping analyzed the Jiao's meaning. The Jiao's thinking was relatively simple. In reality, the demons were that simple. They could ignore the rank 7s. As for the rank 9 demons, kill a few to warn the rest. The remaining rank 9s were not stupid. They would choose to compromise. Fang Ping felt that this plan was a little crude. After thinking for a while, he said, "How about this, King Jiao? Let's pretend that we didn't meet them. The bounded zone is MCMAU's territory. If I ask these demons to surrender, they will definitely not be willing. I'll take the opportunity to kill a few to establish my dominance. When the time comes, you stand up and be the peacemaker. Do you know what a peacemaker is? It's because of you that I don't kill other demons. You and I are old acquaintances, old friends. Now that you've occupied my territory, I want to take it back. If you don't agree, then I'll kill you. You stand up and make peace. Say that as long as you help me with some small matters, I'll give up my territory and continue to let everyone use it. This way, it'll be simple. You don't have to worry about those rank 9 demons not listening to you." The Jiao's eyes widened. How profound. Could it be done like this? I don't even have to do anything? Chef thought too much. No, Chef is so nice. He actually arranged everything. This way, I don't have to use bloodshed to suppress the demons. The Jiao nodded hurriedly. This is reliable. Fang Ping patted its head again. You're so silly. I overestimated you. You're so impressed with this little plan. I'm embarrassed to cheat you. No, I didn't cheat you. Fang Ping sighed in his heart. There are still benefits to following me. Aren't you going to be a rank 9 soon? Without me, you have no hope of becoming a rank 9. When the time comes, maybe I'll really make you the ruler of a territory. You've earned big. Big stupid dog, you've really earned big. Fang Ping was filled with emotion. This was called being wise. Next, it was time for him to show his skills. 6 rank 9 demons. It was a little difficult to fight them all at once. However, there were few minerals in this area. There were not many demon plants, but there were many demon beasts. 6 rank 9 demons, 5 demon beasts, 1 demon plant. And it was a demon plant without any life essence reserves. Such a demon plant was not considered powerful. If I can't fight all 6 at once, then I can only escape. 1 or 2 shouldn't be a problem. I'll exhaust them to death. I still have to declare my sovereignty. Let these demons feel that I have a good reason to attack. I'm the master of the bounded domain. I have 2 of the bounded domain token. No, maybe I can try to see if anyone can enter the bounded domain. I've simulated the aura of many rank 7 martial artists in the Hall of Myriad Origins. Maybe I can form a connection with this place. If that's the case, I can really be the master. This is my territory. Then of course I can drive these demons away. Fang Ping muttered to himself for a while. He did not say anything else. Looking at the Jiao, he smiled and said, "Then I'll go take a look. When the time comes, you come at the crucial moment. No, tell me first, are there any of these 6 rank 9 demons that you can't handle? Or are there any smarter ones? If they're too smart, it'll affect your control over the demons. Kill these demons, then it won't be a problem." The Jiao nodded hurriedly. Very soon, it materialized 2 demons. One was a fox-like demonic beast, and the other was a wild wolf-like demonic beast. These 2 demons were not on good terms with it. When it first discovered it in the sheep beast, it wanted to kill them. Fortunately, the other rank 9 demons did not care too much and ignored it. They were also unwilling to start a war in the bounded domain, so it was left unsettled. This time it was going to take revenge. Kill these 2 fellows, devour them, and advance to the rank 9. As for the other rank 9 demons, the Jiao was confident that it could convince them to listen to it. Seeing that it had a goal, Fang Ping smiled and said, "I understand. Then I'll find a chance to kill these 2 demons. When that time comes, little Jiao, you can also lead 4 rank 9 demons, tens of rank 8 demons, and hundreds of rank 7 demons. That way, you'll have some power too." You becoming a demon king is also what I want to see. Maybe in the future, we can join forces and attack the demon royal court together and help you become a real demon king. The king of 10,000 demons. There are many demon kings. If you rely on yourself, even if you become a true king, it will be difficult. But we humans have a true king. Everyone benefits. If you become a demon king, will you still attack me? I don't believe that little Jiao is that kind of demon, right? The Jiao fell into a reverie, then nodded hurriedly. The king of 10,000 demons. It could actually become the king of 10,000 demons, the demon lord. Chef's words made it tempted. At this moment, the Jiao was somewhat satisfied. Fortunately, it did not kill Chef back then. Otherwise, how could it have such an opportunity? At the same time when Fong Ping entered the bounded domain, outside the Magic City catacombs in the underground hall, Zhang Tao smiled faintly. Shaoli, do you think Fong Ping can succeed this time? Old Man Li shot him a look. Pretentious. Fake or not. A few days ago, he did not have a beard. Today, he grew a white beard that was tens of centimeters long. Are you crazy? Now he was addicted to stroking his beard. He would stroke his beard when he had nothing to do. Looking at it made Old Man Li annoyed. He wanted to ignore him, but after some thought, this guy had been very irritable recently. Old Man Li said weakly, of course he can. When has he ever failed? Since he started practicing martial arts, there was nothing he couldn't do if he wanted to do it. In the past, he could do it even if he didn't have the strength. Now that he has the strength, and Jiao is not as strong as him, it's easy to convince Jiao with the carrot and the stick. That's true. This guy is quite good at talking. Zhang Tao smiled and continued stroking his beard. After a while, he continued, I wonder how many demons he can bring out this time? But it's useless. It's better than nothing. Actually, the effect is average. That might not be true. Old Man Li retorted. Zhang Tao ignored him and said, don't tell me this kid is going to enter the bounded zone again. This time, it might be a little dangerous. I didn't have time to remind him. Warlord should have told him. What's wrong? Old Man Li was a little anxious and worried. If this kid dared to go anywhere, he might have the guts to barge in. Zhang Tao thought for a while and said slowly, this bounded zone in the Magic City catacombs is intact. No one has ever entered it. No one has even been to Star Town. Relatively speaking, it's more dangerous. Sometimes, restrictions will be triggered and monsters will run amok. The demons here are powerful. It's much more dangerous than other places. Star Town doesn't dare to send people here because they have no other choice. The demons here are very strong. Without 7 or 8 rank 9s, they might not be able to suppress them. That's why Star Town gave up on this bounded zone. And there are so many demons in the Magic City bounded zone. I suspect that this might be the Imperial Beast sect in the past. Zhang Tao pondered for a while and said, according to the few words recorded in the ancient books, as well as the information I've collected over the years, and some information obtained from the battlefield, the Imperial Beast sect in the past was probably Quetzang Cave of the 10 major grotto heavens, which was also Qingda hidden mystic heaven. The ancient books recorded 10 major grotto heavens, 36 small grotto heavens, and 72 blessed lands. Of course, these are just what the ancient books said. It doesn't necessarily mean that there are so many blessed lands. However, Quetzang Cave is known as one of the 10 major grotto heavens. It must be more dangerous than the average zone. The Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven and Xuanda Grotto Heaven were both blessed lands among the 36 small grotto heavens. He did not know that the 10 major grotto heavens were probably more powerful than these small grotto heavens. Also, to put it bluntly, those who work with monsters are the neurotic type. They're a little similar to some scientists in the modern era. It's normal for them to be eccentric. If this kid trespasses on the other party's territory, it might cause some trouble. Quetzang Cave? Old Man Li frowned. Beast taming sect? I remember Fong Ping telling me before that during the battle at the King's Battleground, something might have happened to the Imperial Beast sect, which led to the Demon Clan's rebellion. Could it be? Could it be that the Imperial Beast sect is in cahoots with the two kings? If that were the case, Fong Ping would be in danger. Minister, why didn't you say so earlier? Zhang Tao was speechless. He doesn't even talk to me. He didn't even ask me when he went to the Magic City catacombs. What should I say? Besides, Warlord knows more than I do. He'll probably tell Fong Ping not to trespass. After that, Zhang Tao continued. Moreover, this kid, the more you tell him not to go, the more he wants to go, and he insists on doing the opposite. There was no need to remind him. He didn't seem to have the token here, so he shouldn't be able to enter. Even if those old fellows were still alive, they probably wouldn't be able to come out. At the very least, it would be very difficult for him to come out right now. If you can't get in, then it's not a big problem. Old man Li was speechless. He can't go in? That was hard to say. Who said he needed a token to enter? When he went to the Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven, he didn't have anything, but he still went in. When he said that, Zhang Tao was also speechless. After a long while, he said, it shouldn't be a big problem. Besides, I'm near the Magic City catacombs. Even if the other party is still alive, he might not dare to reveal his whereabouts. Old Man Li frowned. What's the situation in the bounded zones? Are these old antiques good or bad? How many people are still alive? What kind of strength do they have? Now you're asking me this. Zhang Tao chuckled. I don't really understand. To be honest, I've actually been to quite a number of broken bounded zones. Not just one or two, but I've been to 5 broken bounded zones. However, I didn't find anything. Although there are some remnants of ancient ruins, there aren't many left. I didn't find any signs of life in there either. Of course, I did find some useful things, but most of them were deduced by me. It's useless to tell you now, lest I mislead you. As for how many people are still alive, I think there should be living people in the 8 intact bounded zones. There are at least 8 powerhouses. As for their abilities, they might be at the pinnacle of 2 paths. Of course, this was back then. Now, they might be weaker or they might be stronger. It's hard to say. Zhang Tao said lightly. These people have been lying low. Maybe they're recuperating, maybe they have other plans. Don't worry too much. They might not be in the same group. They might be 2 groups. What happened back then, there's no one involved to say anything. They can't say anything either. I don't care about that. Is Fong Ping in danger? Entering the catacombs means danger. No one can avoid this, including us. Old Man Li frowned again. He said suddenly, why don't you send me in to take a look? This guy should have brought me along. His current ability is enough to conceal my aura. As soon as he said that, Zhang Tao's gaze flickered. He can only conceal the abilities of martial artists who are weaker or equivalent to him, right? That's right. Is it the same when he changes his aura? Probably. How many people's auras can he actually change? I'm not sure. You're not sure? I really don't know. When Zhang Tao heard this, he asked softly, what kind of price does he have to pay? Old Man Li hesitated for a moment. Then he said, actually, I think you should have some guesses. Zhang Tao nodded slightly. I have some guesses. This kid doesn't care about resources. He doesn't seem to need resources for his cultivation either. Instead, he relies on his own reserves. But his reserves don't seem to be unlimited. He's replenishing this reserve all the time. How does he replenish it? Actually, I have some ideas now. He seems to replenish his reserves through some special means. For example, the stimulation of unfamiliar energy? Zhang Tao murmured. He's constantly changing his own resources. He doesn't really care about what he has. Instead, he needs new resources and new gains to replenish himself. I'm guessing that perhaps he's absorbed different resources and energies. Or should I say, stimulated his revival. Or perhaps he's absorbed some substances that you and I can't discover through some means that we don't know about and converted them. As Zhang Tao said this, he laughed. This kid is actually very much like a processor. He processes some things that we don't need and converts them into things that he needs. Sometimes, I wonder if he's even human. I've heard that when the Demon Emperor became an emperor, he cut off all the Daos in the world and condensed the seed of rebirth. Of course, this saying might not be reliable. It might just be a smokescreen. Old Man Li frowned. You still suspect that he's the seed of rebirth? Is that necessary? No, I don't believe that he's the seed of rebirth. Zhang Tao's eyes flickered. I don't think the seed of rebirth possesses these abilities. The seed of rebirth might be a dead object. I'm suspecting that he's not the resurrection of a powerhouse, but a powerhouse's seal. Seal? Old Manly frowned. What seal? You're making it sound a little mysterious. It's beyond the scope of martial arts. It's not mysterious at all. Zhang Tao laughed. The strongest powerhouses seal themselves. When they're alive, they strip off their own life imprint and seal all their powers and abilities. Then they recover bit by bit. That's called sealing. When powerhouses die, their remaining life imprint is passed on. That's called resurrection. Resurrected martial artists have limited things left behind from their previous lives. Moreover, they might not be able to recover their previous lives' memories in this lifetime. But if it's a seal, maybe it's possible. They cultivate a second life. When they reach their previous life's realm, everything will be restored. This life and their previous life will overlap, including their memories. Zhang Tao muttered. He's very much like a powerhouse who sealed himself. He's using all the sealed resources. Now, he's seizing resources to stimulate those sealed resources to appear. Or rather, what he's obtained is just a catalyst. Old Manly felt a headache coming on. He frowned. How is that possible? It can't be, right? If that's the case, doesn't that mean that he'll become another person when he reaches a certain realm? This is something I can't tolerate. It's also something he can't accept. Minister, have you seen such a person before? Resurrection was already mysterious enough. Now, there are people who can seal everything about themselves while they're still alive. They're reborn and cultivate another life. Is this reliable? It's acceptable for the life imprint to be passed on. Complete energy and memories to be passed on. Is that true? Zhang Tao smiled faintly. It's hard to say. I haven't seen it before, but I've suspected it. I suspect that Heavenly King subduing is such a person. Of course, there's no evidence. It's not just Heavenly King subduing. I have a few other suspects. These people could all be powerhouses who sealed themselves. When they were alive, they used great determination to seal themselves so that they could be reborn. What are they after? Old Manly was puzzled. Powerhouses like that are at least at the pinnacle. They might not be able to reach the pinnacle. At least, I'm not confident. Zhang Tao said with a smile. What are they after? Maybe they're tired of living. They've lived for too long and want some excitement. Who knows what they're after? I'm just guessing. I don't have any solid evidence. But you should tell this kid Fong Ping to be careful. He won't take anything I say seriously. You have to remind him more often. If it's really self-sealing, there might be a way. It's simple. If he really cultivated to his past life's realm and recovered his memories, you can show him 100 or so short movies. Maybe it'll be washed away. Even if it doesn't, you can mess up those memories. Make him feel like he's watching a movie. Don't be immersed in it. Then it'll be fine. Of course, I'm just expressing my opinion. Old Manly was dumbfounded. Are you kidding me? Is that even possible? However, things were still uncertain now. He was too lazy to say anything more. He would think about it when the time came. Fong Ping's problem was indeed a little serious. Old Manly felt that there was no such thing as a free lunch. Fong Ping was indeed not normal. Whether it was resurrection or sealing, it was best to be careful. No, wasn't I talking to old Zhang about whether Fong Ping was in danger? How did the topic deviate to this? Old Manly glanced at old Zhang. This old man seemed to be leading him on purpose. What was he trying to do? Was he worried about Fong Ping's identity too? After all, Fong Ping was too freakish. In more than 2 years, he had entered rank 8th 7th level and could help others grow rapidly. If such a person was really an enemy, it would be dangerous. At least, everyone in MCMEU currently followed Fong Ping's lead. As Fong Ping became stronger, he was no longer an insignificant figure. Not only was he strong himself, but he had also led many people to become strong. The whole of MCMEU was the same. Even Nan Yunyue, who had achieved the pinnacle, owed Fong Ping a big favor. If there was a problem with Fong Ping, the impact would be very bad. It might even be more troublesome than those old farts in the boundaries. For a while, Old Manly did not speak anymore and fell into deep thought. There were some things that he still had to mention when Fong Ping returned. 9 Heavens, Divine Emperor. Chapter 800. The Magic City catacombs spanned tens of thousands of li from east to west and more than 2,000 li from north to south. This meant that the bounded domain's length was also more than 2,000 li. Within this area of more than 2,000 miles in depth, the 6th-rank 9 demons had divided Magic City's bounded domain into 6 large pieces. Occupying territory was the nature of demons. Occupying territory in the bounded domain was actually fighting for the energy that seeped out from the inside of the bounded domain. The bigger the territory, the more energy seeped out. Fong Ping quickly found where the gateway to the Magic City bounded domain was. Under normal circumstances, the gateway was where the boundary stone was. Fong Ping walked and stopped. Soon, he saw the black boundary stone in a plain area. Chinda Realm. Fong Ping recognized the 3 big words. It was related to the last time he went to Xuanda Grotto Heaven. The boundary stone there showed Xuanda Realm. Chinda Grotto Heaven? One of the 10 major grotto heavens, the 10th grotto heaven. Chinda Hidden Mystic Heaven? Fong Ping was slightly surprised. Since he knew that the bounded domain was related to the blessed grotto heaven, he did a lot of research. In reality, the 10th grotto heaven was not in Magic City, but in Dongwu. However, Fong Ping quickly realized that the 6th southern region was the Dongwu catacombs. It was not surprising that the bounded domain of the Magic City catacombs was Quokang Mountain. Quokang Mountain, one of the 10 major grotto heavens. Fong Ping had been to 2 of the 36 grotto heavens. He did not know the difference between the 10 major grotto heavens and the small grotto heavens. He also knew that the first grotto heaven, Wangwu Mountain, was guarded by Heavenly King. Until now, Fong Ping still did not know which territory the first grotto heaven was in. 1,000 years ago, there was a sect called Cliff Sect in Quokang Mountain. I wonder if this Cliff Sect is related to Quokang Mountain. Fong Ping calculated in his heart and looked at the boundary wall in the distance. Previously in Xuanda Grotto Heaven, he imitated the Green Bull sect master's aura and opened the boundary wall. Green Bull sect. In reality, Xuanda Grotto Heaven was around Taibai Mountain. There was also a Green Bull sect there. Therefore, the Cliff Sect was in Quokang Mountain. This was indeed Qingda, Hidden Mystic Heaven. The probability of the Cliff Sect being Quokang Mountain's outer sect was not small. I'll give it a try. Fong Ping looked around. It was not that there were no demons nearby. Not far from the main entrance, there was a demon lair. However, the strongest one, there was only a rank 8 demon beast. He did not pay much attention to it. Fong Ping walked straight toward the main entrance behind the stone monument. Very soon, some demons noticed him. Fong Ping was not in a hurry. His mentality spread out rapidly. His mentality fluctuated, and he berated, "I'm going back to the house." Demons retreat. He didn't care if the demonic beast understood him or not, and directly walked towards the main entrance. The monster roared fiercely, but stopped very quickly. Now was not the time for the barrier to open, and the other party could not be bothered with Fong Ping. The aura Fong Ping exuded was comparable to a rank 9. If they were not fighting for energy, the demons would not be so foolish as to attack him at this time. In front of the main entrance, Fong Ping lifted his head to take a look. He could not see anything clearly. The barrier did not erupt with energy, so he could not see anything inside. There's no harm in trying. The Cliff Sect leader is a rank 8 powerhouse. I can imitate him now. If it was the last time, Fong Ping could only imitate a rank 7 martial artist aura. This time, he could imitate a rank 8 martial artist aura. He could imitate all the auras he had seen before, as long as their abilities were not higher than his. The aura on Fong Ping's body flashed. Not far away, the porcupine-like monster was a little dumbfounded. How strange! It changed just like that. The demons here had lived in the bounded zone for their entire lives. They might not even have seen humans before. In the eyes of this monster, Fong Ping might be the same kind as it. It was just that he looked a little strange. The porcupine-like monster watched in amazement, but Fong Ping ignored it. The moment the aura on his body changed, Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. The barrier trembled slightly. Extending his palm, Fong Ping touched the barrier lightly. It was not attack, but it did not pass through either. A very weak reaction. This means that my guess is right. The Cliff sect is indeed related to Quechang Mountain. However, it might be that it's been a long time, and the heritage has been lost. I can no longer open the barrier. Fong Ping felt a little regretful. It seemed like he could not open the barrier anymore. Unless he obtained the token of this place and imitated the aura when the tides erupted, he might be able to open a weak passageway. The bounded zone's barrier is actually a doorway. The way to distinguish might be through cultivation methods. Fong Ping made a judgment in his heart. This time he was just trying. It was not necessary to enter. However, since he was already here, Fong Ping still felt a little regretful that he could not enter. It was not easy to come in this time. It was quite a pity that he was blocked at the doorway. Fong Ping continued to imitate other people's auras. In the end, it was useless. Other people's auras would often cause the barrier to retaliate. What a pity! At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly touched his chin. He had forgotten about a few people. Iron Head! This guy entered the bounded zone directly last time. Before this, he was still guessing that Iron Head was related to the bounded zone. He actually forgot about Iron Head and the others. Very quickly, the aura on Fong Ping's body changed. This time, it turned into Iron Head's aura. As soon as the transformation was completed, Fong Ping sensed that something was wrong. Boom! There was an explosion. Heaven and earth trembled. A large number of black fissures erupted directly. Fong Ping's expression changed drastically. Damn it! What was going on? This was the first time he encountered a situation where the seal erupted on its own. No, it happened last time too. The last time King Pine's subordinates went to the bounded zone and took out King Pine's avatar, it caused the bounded zone seal to erupt on its own. Damn it, what did Iron Head do? Fong Ping thought of the problem in a flash. Iron Head's fault. Iron Head definitely had a grudge against Quokang Mountain. At the same time, inside Quokang Mountain, in a magnificent sky palace, in a sky palace hall that was similar to Schwanda Grotto Heaven, an illusory figure suddenly cast his gaze toward the boundary wall. Northern, sect member? A hoarse voice came out slowly. In the empty and silent hall, the voice echoed slowly. Outer sect. Northern sect martial artists had arrived. Thousands of years had passed. Did the Northern sect still have descendants? Northern sect hasn't been destroyed yet? The illusory figure trembled slightly. His voice was hoarse, indescribable joy or sorrow. In the next moment, the outer realm's boundary wall stopped trembling. The illusory figure also fell into silence. After a while, the illusory figure suddenly rushed out of the hall. Two rays of golden light exploded in his eyes. Looking toward the main entrance again. Southern sect descendant. Southern sect hasn't been destroyed yet. Southern sect still exists. Back then, who won and who lost? The old voice was full of bitterness and confusion. Outside, who had arrived? Were the Northern and Southern sect descendants here? At the same time, outside the boundary wall, Fong Ping was also dazed. He imitated Iron Head's aura and was almost attacked by the space rift. In a moment of desperation, Fong Ping imitated someone else's aura randomly. He mainly wanted the rift to stop attacking. However, at this moment, not only did the rift disappear, but the boundary wall began to tremble violently. It seemed like the boundary wall was going to break open. What's going on? Fong Ping was puzzled. Right now, he was imitating Yao Qingyuan's aura. Old Yao is related to Quokang Mountain? Fong Ping was suspicious. He could not help but think of something else. Old Yao and Iron Head might really be enemies. These two fellows were the same in the void mausoleum grotto heaven last time. Iron Head went in. Fong Ping imitated Old Yao's aura and was almost killed by the counterattack of the boundary wall. At that time, Iron Head said that the owner of the void mausoleum grotto heaven might have a grudge against Old Yao. This time, it seemed to be proven. Quoking Mountain and Old Yao did not have a grudge against each other. In fact, they seemed to be quite close. However, Iron Head had a grudge against him, and the grudge seemed to be quite deep. Old Yao, Iron Head, Fong Ping frowned slightly. Could these two fellows be their biggest enemies in their past lives? Things were getting interesting now. These two fellows had a pretty good relationship now. After this resurrection, did they turn hostility into friendship? In the battle of the Imperial Battleground back then, could these two fellows be the leaders? What role did Second Wong's play in that battle? Who was on the same side as Second Wong's? A strange thought arose in Fong Ping's mind. Could it be that Second Wong's were just these two fellows' servants back then? It could not be. In Old Wong, Fong Ping had discovered another problem now. Among the three resurrected people, Ironhead and Old Yao were obviously biased. Some were enemies, some were friends. On the other hand, Old Wong did not seem to have such a distinction. He also imitated Old Wong's aura. There was no reaction. It was extremely normal. He did not know if it was because he had not met his enemies or friends, or if these three people were actually not from the same era. Fong Ping was a little sure now. Old Yao and Iron Head should be people from the same era. As for Old Wong, it was a little hard to say. Over at Schwandegrado Heaven, both Iron Head and I received some inheritance. Old Wong and Old Yao did not. Even if Iron Head and Schwandegrado Heaven are not close, they should not be enemies either. However, it's very hard to say for Old Yao and Old Wong. Maybe they are not on the same side as Schwandegrado Heaven. Fong Ping already had some clues now. Old Yao and Iron Head must be relatively important people. The bounded zone was 100% related to them. As for what kind of connection, it was hard to say now. However, now it seemed that the bounded zone was at least divided into two big camps. Old Yao and Iron Head were not on the same side. The Battle of the Kings in the Imperial Battleground back then might have been an internal conflict between these two big camps. Should I go in? Fong Ping glanced at the boundary wall that was still shaking. After some thought, he restrained his aura and did not expose himself anymore. It seemed like he could go in if he imitated Old Yao's aura. The boundary wall was shaking violently earlier. However, if he went in, it might not be a good thing. There was someone inside. Warlord and the rest had reminded him about this. They might not be on the same side. The master of Schwandegrado Heaven was still considered friendly to him. However, now it seemed like Schwandegrado Heaven was not on the same side as Quoking Mountain. They would not harm him, would they? If he went in, it would be dangerous. When Fong Ping restrained his aura, the boundary wall no longer shook. Inside the boundary wall, on the Heavenly Palace Imperial Road, an illusory figure had already walked out of the basilica. The figure was still illusory, as if it did not exist in this world. On the Imperial Road bridge, the figure stood still, as if it had been standing there since ancient times, blending into the environment. Under the bridge, the Golden River flowed. In the dead and silent bounded zone, only the sound of the flowing river could be heard, bringing a little bit of life to the bounded zone. After an unknown amount of time, in the Golden River, an incomparably huge head suddenly emerged, exceptionally strange. The owner of the huge head was not human. Its head was very similar to a cat's. There were no scales on its body. Instead, it had a body of fiery red fur, like a burning fire, majestic and imposing. The illusory figure glanced at the fiery red big cat. Its voice was indiscernible whether it was crying or laughing, saying hoarsely, "You sensed it." Wah-wah. Like a baby learning to speak, the fiery red big cat made a few wah-wah sounds. The illusory figure did not reply, looking at the main entrance again. Someone's coming. It's very strange. Able to trigger a reaction from the boundary wall, the old figure said a few words unhurriedly, and said again, "People who survived back then? Or some old friends?" The figure muttered a few words to itself, looked at the big cat again, and murmured, "A few hundred years ago, I wanted to send you out, but you were unwilling. Now the other sects all have successors outside. Only my Chinda realm has no one outside. The outside world has changed. How is it now? Chaos is coming. Where do we go? Thousands of years. the world has changed. Should have come out 1,000 years ago. Unquestionable sword attacked the divine continent by force. Delayed for 1,000 years. Why? The old figure muttered to himself for a while. Soon, the figure moved, and the next moment, it appeared in a golden lake. At this moment, there was also a figure in the golden lake. The figure's eyes were closed, as if he was dead. The old voice said, "Both the North and South sects have sent people. Do you know who the successors of both sects are in the outside world?" In the lake, the figure opened its eyes, saying slowly, "I don't know. The outside world has long stopped fighting between the North and the South, and there is no distinction between the North and the South. The North and the South have long disappeared in the dust of history." The figure was not illusory. He had a scholarly temperament, like a scholar. The illusory figure said indifferently again, "Do you want to go out?" "Yes." The old man in the lake looked up at the illusory figure, saying slowly, "I have already achieved rank 9. Since Senior is unwilling to come out, then let me out of the boundary and help the humans." "Help the humans? Fake God." The old figure laughed lightly, saying lightly, "Even a true God is powerless, let alone a fake God." The old man did not speak, remaining silent. After a long time, the old figure said indifferently again, "The outside world seems to have lost the war." The old man's expression changed slightly, but he did not speak. The Forbidden Sea Demon Clan communicated with the cat. "The Hope City you speak of has been destroyed." The old man frowned, saying quickly, "Senior Cat can communicate with the outside world? If that's the case, Senior, why don't you let Senior Cat help the humans?" "Cat can't leave Quoking Mountain." The old figure said indifferently, "The time isn't right." "The time isn't right?" The old man laughed self-deprecatingly. "The time isn't right again. When is the time? The humans were defeated? McMao? His daughter? His old friends? Maybe they were all dead." For a moment, the old man was disheartened. Soon, the old man pulled himself together, saying, "I've been in the boundary for 3 years. Senior has appeared 3 times. The first 2 times, Senior, you didn't let me leave. This time I've advanced to rank 9. Since Senior has appeared again, I'm afraid you have a request. Senior, please speak freely. If I can do it, I will do my best. If I can't do it, then it's useless even if you trap me. Going out now is dangerous. However, someone has entered Quoking Mountain. Maybe this is your chance. You can leave, but what happened here must not be leaked to the outside world." The old figure said. The next moment his tone was cold, including the cultivation method. "If you dare to leak it, you will die." The old man's expression changed slightly. Then he said painfully, "Why? Since Senior is willing to teach me the cultivation method, why not tell the humans? Now humans are weak and struggling to survive. I've been stuck at rank 7 for many years, always shackled by my mentality. In just 3 years, I've advanced to rank 9. If the cultivation method is taught, the number of human high-rank powerhouses will increase greatly, and we won't be at the mercy of others. Maybe," the old figure said lightly, then said, "But I can't teach the method of achieving virtue. Techniques can't be taught easily. The battle between the North and the South originates from the battle of techniques. I understand, not teaching techniques. You may not understand, but if you teach techniques, you will die." The old figure said lightly, paused for a moment, then said slowly, "When we go out this time, there are people from both the North and the South sects. Kill the people from the North sect, keep the people from the South sect." "All humans?" "Should be. I don't kill humans." The old man refused. Humans were weak to begin with. Those who could enter the boundary zone were at least high-ranked martial artists. He would not kill human high-ranked humans. "Then you can't leave the state of achieving virtue." "Then I won't leave." The old figure did not speak, waiting for a while. After a long time, the old figure said calmly, "Then forget it. When you go out this time, let me do a few things. Please tell me, Senior. First, go to the great emptiness." The old man said in a low voice, "The great emptiness? Wayu Mountain?" Wayu Mountain may not still exist. The boundary zone isn't complete everywhere. Weiyu Mountain is the second grotto heaven. It won't be destroyed. Just go look for it. When I reach Weiyu Mountain, what should I do, senior? You don't have to do anything. Just go in. The old man nodded slightly, agreeing to it. Second, tell the true gods outside that Quokang Mountain has no ill intentions, but we don't welcome outsiders. Please don't come anymore. I'll pass the message. Third, help me find the unquestionable sword. Unquestionable sword? The old man was not too sure about this. He frowned and said, the unquestionable sword that Senior mentioned. Is it someone from the same generation as Senior? Then it should be long dead. Even if it's not dead, it shouldn't be in the outside world. Not necessarily, the old figure said lightly. The unquestionable sword might not be dead. Make a trip to Purple Cat Mountain. You might find some traces. Then what should I do after finding the unquestionable sword? Tell him. I'll wait for him at Quokang Mountain. All right. The two of them spoke for a while, and the old figure disappeared. In the lake of eternal destruction, the old man looked in the direction where the old figure disappeared. He did not speak, nor was he in a hurry to leave. Since the owner of this place did not send him out, it meant that now was not the time yet. Boundary Zone. Ancient martial artists, the old man murmured. What were these ancient martial artists trying to do? The owner of this place seemed to want to contact some people through him. Was he preparing to leave the mountain? How strong was the owner of this place? The legendary Hopeless Realm? The old man thought to himself. When he entered the Boundary Zone, the Hopeless Realm had not been made public yet. However, the old man knew some things. There were strong and weak rank 9 martial artists. Some were very, very strong, so strong that they did not seem like rank 9 martial artists. Only now did he understand that rank 9 martial artists were divided into true and false gods. It should be related to the Hopeless Realm that he heard about. The owner of this place might be a Hopeless Realm powerhouse. The old man did not know if there were such powerhouses in Sino Nation. Perhaps Commander Li was one. Perhaps Minister Zhang too. Who knew? However, these ancient martial artists were so strong, yet they were unwilling to help humans. This made the old man feel very regretful. Perhaps this was also a good thing. These seniors were unusually mysterious. The old man did not know what kind of impact they would cause if they left the mountain. Magic City Catacombs has fallen. Is Fengru still alive? The old man suddenly thought of his daughter and the person who came from outside the boundary wall. Who came in? Since Magic City Catacombs had fallen, who would come to the Boundary Zone? I've already entered rank 9. I can already suppress a catacombs. This time, I might be able to counterattack Magic City Catacombs and take it back. I wonder how Fengru is doing. Has she advanced to rank 7? Wu Quishan should be rank 9 soon, right? The old man thought to himself. In a mere 3 years, he had advanced to rank 9. This time, when he went out, he could also conquer a catacombs. If only it was earlier. If he advanced to rank 9 earlier, he would not have to wait for Magic City Catacombs to fall like now. I hope Fengru is fine. As the old man thought of these, his heart was filled with anticipation. This time, he would appear from the inside, break the passageway by force, and kill his way out. Skygate City Lord that be asterisk starred. This time, maybe he's the one who conquered Hope City. He probably didn't expect that I've already advanced to rank 9. When I get out, I'll kill him. The old man thought of these again, his eyes cold. As for what the owner of this place wanted him to do, he would think about it later. At the same time, Fong Ping scolded loudly. This is MCMU territory. All of you leave quickly. Otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless. A mere rank 9 dares to be so presumptuous. At this time, less than 100 meters in front of Fong Ping, a tall, wild wolf monster was glaring at him with red eyes. Fong Ping's face was full of disdain, and he snorted coldly. Rank 9 demon? I've seen many true king demons. I know you're intelligent. Let me tell you, the 7 Southern Territory is MCMU's territory, including this place. Not to mention that you're not a true king. Even if you are, you'll have to die. Enter the Forbidden Sea directly now, and I'll spare your lives. Otherwise, a mere rank 9 can be used to make a divine weapon if you kill him. Howl! The wild wolf monster was indeed intelligent. At this moment, its eyes were already bloodshot. This was too much. Kill him. The next moment, the wild wolf monster broke through the air, clawing at Fong Ping. Fong Ping's body shone with golden light. The rank 9 Changdao appeared in the blink of an eye in his hand. With a roar, he slashed with his saber, and a tiny crack appeared in the space. Rumble! The saber light and the wolf's claw collided. Fong Ping cracked the ground and took a few steps back. The wild wolf monster that was pouncing toward him was also sent flying backward, its eyes even redder. That's all, Fong Ping sneered. The next moment, he put away his Changdao directly, smiling. That's good too. I've advanced to rank 8 7th level and haven't fought before. Come and train yourself. As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping stepped into the air, charging toward it with his bare fists. The strength of the other party's golden body was comparable to his. This was good too. He could try it out and familiarize himself with the strength of this monster, lest he made mistakes in the later stages and was unable to familiarize himself with the use of energy. Rumble! The booming sounds continued. The rank 7 and 8 monsters on the ground fled one after another. The Wolf King had met its match. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.